Hello and welcome to the computer. Right, okay, start again. Fucking hell. There's a little cheeky one for YouTube there.
Yep. Jesus Christ, it's just like being on Women's Hour, it really is.
Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with Sean Bell.
Hello.
Matt Murray.
Hello.
And no James Farley this week. Get used to me saying that because that's going to happen a lot over the next couple of months. But instead we have the wonderful Ellie Gibson back on the show.
Tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be James Farley. I'm very excited. I've had a lovely day already. They've looked after me so nice, the crew here. I can't thank you enough. Whatever happens, it doesn't matter if I don't win.
You need to moan a lot more if you want to be James Farley. If you're trying to mimic him, just say that you don't want to be here, you want to go to bed. Less energy.
Yeah, maybe check out in about 15 minutes.
If you want
it's going to be a real stretch for me, but I think probably I can manage it.
We'll start the show by thanking our Patreon producers. They are Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights and Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gasman, Rocketman76, Smooth Monkey, John Tempelli, Jackie Sniper, Sam Higton, Thomas, Stan, Philip with an F, Cutty, Steve Lee, Jack Oven, Grey Dragonclaw, Colin the Car Wanker Smith, Lee Keybottom, My Dog Skip, Dean, Steve the Duke Littler, and a new full Nels member has entered the frame. It's Evil Mammal. Thank you so much for going full Nels. Thank you for supporting us on patreon.com/TCGS. We really do appreciate it. Go over there if you'd like to support us, if you like what we do and you want us to. We will fucking stop if you don't sign up. How about that? Yeah?
We've had enough. We don't want to be here anymore.
We don't. We are finished. Mario Kart World stream is on. That was weird how I said that. Mario Kart World stream is on Wednesday, the 25th of June. If you'd like to come and play Mario Kart World with us, sign up at our Patreon, patreon.com/TCGS on the £8.50 and above tier. That is right, Matt?
That's correct, yes.
Plus local taxes.
Good. All of that goes out of the way. Ellie, welcome back to the show. It's been a year since you were last on.
Has it?
No way.
Has it?
It has, yeah, because the last time you were on was when we were going through what was announced at Jeff Keighley's Summer Games list. And
I've sat here every Monday night since.
Waiting.
Tonight they'll let me in the chat room. Maybe tonight they'll let me in. Finally, yes. Let's book it in now for 2026. Let's do it.
Talk to Matt afterwards. I'm sure we could sort something out. But I did see you recently, a couple of months ago, didn't I? I took my wife to see the Scummy Mummies live show in Epsom. And it was amazing. Like, we loved it. We had such a good night. Was totally underprepared for it. I had. It's really funny because I'd wanted to come see you live for a while. And I was like, yeah, no, got to go and see Ellie's live shows. It'd be really good. And not once did I think, it's a mum's thing for mums. And I didn't feel unwelcome. But when I walked into the lobby, I went, oh, fucking hell. Because I thought there would be a majority women in the audience, which is fine. I'm cool with that, right? It's 2025. I'm a liberal guy. I'm cool with that, right? But I didn't realise.
50% of the population is really great.
Women are allowed in public spaces.
Did you wear one of those, this is what a male feminist looks like t-shirts?
Mate, I was fucking cool with it. I've just said that several times.
You just thought it was acceptable and good, and well done to them.
Didn't realise.
That is how you know men definitely don't hate women when they say it, when they have to say it out loud. You know, they're definitely okay. It's definitely all fine.
Thank you for confirming. I was fine with it. There was 3 men there, right? And I didn't realise going in that I wouldn't be able to use the toilet because the women just took over the men's toilets. Oh wow! So I couldn't do anything about that. Now look, I'm a cool liberal guy, right? But that's too far. That's fucking out. I'd like to ask what it'd be like if it was the other way round. You ever thought about that?
No one's ever asked that question. So
no, they haven't. No, they haven't.
I've never thought about that because I don't care. So I'm sorry that happened to you.
I've mainly brought you on to complain about the fact that I couldn't go to the toilet. That's right. It was,
to represent all women, Ellie. Is that all right?
That's it's just like being in video games in 2010 again. Oh, yes, David, I can't imagine what it's like to walk into a room where you're the only person of that gender. If only my 25-year career in video games had taught me anything.
Sure, but it doesn't
how
usually
traumatic.
happen to me. So it was a bit of a shock.
Brand new
Bit of a shock.
experience.
It
Well,
was brilliant.
but as
though.
I say in the show, we do like to let a couple of men in for diversity. So we are very grateful to you for ticking that box.
Yeah, you
It's
hit the
about-
quota.
Exactly. It's about time middle-aged white men have a voice. And
it
that's what
certainly
you were
is.
there for.
Well, Joe said to it was so funny. We walked in and Joe looked around and went, "Oh, for fuck's sake! Now people think that I haven't got any friends because like I've got no friends to come and see the show that I want to go to, so I've had to bring my husband along." I was like, "Oh, thanks. That makes me feel." And she even said to me afterwards, "I said, did you enjoy that?" She said, "I loved it. Next time I'll go with friends." I was like, "Okay, all right."
Well, maybe you should bring some friends next time, Dave. Maybe I'll come with you. And we can...
That's not good. That's
No?
not gonna
Okay.
happen. No.
Well, I wanted to go,
Well,
but
the offer stands.
yeah, but do you not remember the toilet situation, Sean? You'd be mad
I'm
to go
fine
now.
with it. Like Dave, very liberal. it's fine.
Don't feel too bad. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they thought you were swingers who were there hoping to welcome another woman into the marriage.
Well, they would be.
That's only what his
partially
t-shirt said.
correct. And I also really did appreciate the Balatro reference to it. I think I whooped, but I think I was the only one that might have whooped during the Balatro reference of your show. But I was buzzing
Yeah.
that you got a shout out, so I was happy.
That
with
was for you. If there is a games person, because sometimes people who watch me on Twitch come and see the show as well. And if there is a games person, I do always drop in a little Balatro joke, which means absolutely nothing to the other 299 women there. But you know, one person whoops. That's my job done. I'm happy.
And that is the coolest thing ever. I could say that. I could say it's like going to see a band and them going, "No, this song's for you, actually, just you." And yeah, I'm going to wear that with pride. I will clip that and send that to all my friends. But yeah, no, thanks for that. It was fucking great. Have you got much of the tour left, or are you done?
Well, people keep saying, when do you stop? And the answer is when one of us dies. So we are
only
currently
us.
booking. Yeah, it's just never ending. So we're booking. I think we've booked most of our 2025 gigs now. We're booking 2026 up to Christmas next year. So yeah, we need the money. Is the short answer. So
Can you give
Until
us
the
like an in with a venue, because we can't get anyone to pick up the phone, Ali. It's getting really.
we haven't got anyone. We've got no one to. We would not be able to fill that.
that might be because no one has used the telephone since 2014, and most things are done on email now. You should try email.
That's our mistake.
That's my advice. That is my
We have
advice.
had a number of situations where we've contacted a venue about doing a show in London, and they've gone, yeah, okay, yeah. So we're a podcast, and then that's it. It's just that it goes completely. They don't answer. So and we didn't even get to the video game bit. That's the problem. We don't even manage to
It's
get.
going to
the
get
video
more
game bit.
embarrassing. They already. got stuff.
Well, maybe you should introduce some show elements. Maybe you should learn a little dance, or wear funny hats. I don't know, do whatever people do in shows. We dress up as vaginas at one point in our show. Why don't you do that?
Can we do that?
That'd be great. Okay, I'll pick up 3
I just
vagina
imagine
outfits.
one of those cut twos that you see in a sitcom of the four of us sitting on stage talking about the
Yeah, it's
Balatro dressed as vaginas.
Yeah, James saying,
We
"You will
do-
never ever get me in," and then bang, cuts to
We do in our Christmas show. We do a little version of Steps' song "Tragedy," but it's called Vasectomy. And Helen dresses up as a giant penis, and I dress up as a pair of scissors. So if you want to borrow those costumes, boys, I know it's topical for you guys. You're welcome.
Yeah.
That does
Maybe we
sound
could
good.
just rent a bunch of costumes off you guys. Maybe we can cut the cost of all this down and help each other
And then I
out.
can
Just
stop
do a panto.
touring.
Right, okay. Well, thanks for joining us again. It's great to have you on. We always get so many people saying how much they love you when you're on the show, so it's good to have you back. Should we get to that went all a bit like sort of real then for a moment. Didn't it? I like that.
No, I enjoyed it, yeah, but I don't know what to say about it. So
It's
yeah,
like
whatever.
Tarrant on
Thanks.
TV.
Thanks.
Tarrant on TV after he shows a load of silly clips and a really serious one just before the adverts, and it all sort of just fucking takes a nosedive. Feedback,
Yeah.
Matt. What did they all
Thanks.
think
This
of
is a
last
great
week's
honour
show?
for me. I can't. There's nothing else I'd rather do on a Monday night. How's that?
No, this is the best way to spend 6 hours on a Monday. So feedback. I guess the biggest bit of feedback really was that last week Sean somehow managed to announce a game that doesn't exist. That
Yeah, and
game
only,
being
and only
Lego
2
Mario
people
Party.
noticed because
Well, no,
it
only
never
2 people got in
happened.
touch.
Only
Only 2
two
people got in
people got in
touch.
touch.
Everyone else was horrified.
Happened? So the comments we got, we'll let the listeners decide. The comments we got was, why did Sean announce that there was a Lego Super Mario Party game coming out? And this is the clip, okay?
And before he played it, can I just say?
All right. He wants to get his excuse in first. Okay, let's.
No, it's not. Okay. I'm not disputing what was said. I'm saying a couple of people have misinterpreted it.
Okay.
I mean, but before you play again, I mean, like this kind of started Darren Gargett in Discord saying, anyone catched a fake game in this week's pod? And I was like, oh my God, that is one of you three. I mean, not James.
I'm the one who screen grabbed that.
That's such a great idea. You did it. You faked us. But I was like, what game? What?
No, because I put it in the group. Like, who was this? Did we do this? I don't remember doing
the answer was you.
Apparently it was
right,
me.
We're all trying to find a guy who did this.
You could decide. Does Sean announce Super? What is it called? No, Lego Super Mario Party. Is that
Lego Mario Party.
Lego Mario. Fucking hell. Okay. Sorry, I got there in the end.
And you would choose your character, and then it'd be like, certainly, sir.
That's the wrong clip.
That's another. That is another thing we need to talk about.
Is this what this podcast is now? Just playing bits of the old podcast?
These always
it's just going to get so meta. It's like you're in a hall of mirrors.
Oh yeah, we've had to really refine what we can do, what we can't do. So the best thing to do is just use old stuff and then live react to the old episode. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Do you want me to explain that clip, or should we?
No, I've got the right clip now. I've got the right clip now. Oh, that is bad, that isn't it? Fucking hell. Right, okay. Thank God I'm editing this week. Right, here's the real clip.
I'm intrigued because there was this, and there was the. I mean, it's a bit shocking they're literally calling it Lego Party, but there's a Lego Mario Party game also being made, and I just think it's. Really looking forward to that.
Go on. I mean, that's pretty straightforward, Sean.
Sounds like you announced a Lego Mario Party.
There's a Lego Mario Party game being made.
I mean,
those are literally the
Which,
words.
if you are reading it 100% literally,
fine. Well, we are. That's all we can do.
None of us are reading it, mate.
Well, so apparently none of these fuckers were even listening. Because are you telling me that if I sat there and just announced, oh, by the way, there's a new Mario Party and it's Lego, you would just not react and we would just move on? I think you all knew exactly what I was talking about.
Okay.
And so did most of
one of those moments where we don't know if Sean is genuinely pissed off or not, and it's there's that sort of tension in the air where we go, fucking hell, should we back away? Because he's starting to do that face.
I'm still confused by the use of the word literally, because was there a psychic message hidden in what you said when you said they're making
My point is, from the context, I think it's clear that what I meant was there is a Lego game that in the style of Mario Party. That is what I meant. Not that it's literally a Mario Party game that's also Lego, which makes no sense. And as I say, the fact that none of these three could be bothered to fucking say anything. I do remember hearing but now it benefits them to be like, Sean got it wrong.
I mean, this isn't our fault.
I mean, you didn't get it right.
No.
And most people understood it. And
a Lego Mario Party game is being made.
I don't think most people understood it. I mean Ginger Ninja in the chat,
because otherwise we'd have had an absolute uproar. And as I say again, one of you three, unless literally none of you were listening, in which case that's another problem we need to talk about, probably off air.
No, I do remember hearing it. And I did basically kind of, I guess, get the gist, but I guess I didn't hear the actual words.
They kind of got the gist, But
I didn't hear the actual words together. They're pretty damning, aren't they?
I think it's
really obvious to anyone with half a brain cell. Sorry, Darren.
Okay, right.
Sorry, Darren, and all the other people that didn't get in contact, but they wanted to. You can
just say, I don't want to talk about this, let's move on, it's making me too angry. You could say that, it's fine, and we'll move on.
I'm absolutely fine.
Or should we just say, oh no, we understood what you meant, mate, that's fine. Is that better? Are we all right to move on?
Can I just quickly announce they are making a new Grand Theft Auto in the style of Barbie Horse Adventures? Did you know that?
Jesus. Okay. That's confirmed.
Well, when you come back in a year, we will play that clip back to you. And if you could get really angry with us about it, that would be perfect. Okay.
So that was that. That's sorted out. There's another clip though, David, you had.
Sorted, Do we want to talk about the other clip?
Oh, well, the other clip was really weird. So when I was listening back to the pod, which I do, listen back to our own podcast, that's right, I heard Matt just go, ha, 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 you twat, in the middle of someone talking. And listen to this. This was the most bizarre thing I've ever heard on our pod, ready? Where is it? Here we go. So listen out for Matt saying, ha ha ha, you twat.
Yoshi, and you would choose your character, and then it'd be like, certainly, sir. Which colour would you like?
Right, Matt, Sean, do you want it?
Terrifying!
Hang on. Do you want
Like Son of Sam chipping him. Fucking hell.
Sometimes when I'm doing the edit, if there's like a funny little voice clip, I'll clip it and I'll just put it at the end after the music. That was what was it like? I think it was about 5 episodes prior was my last edit, and then I edited last week. I forgot that was in there, and because that episode ran way longer than any of our normal ones, that just appeared at like 2 hours ish in the show. I made a mistake, and I'm admitting it, Dave.
Right, and you seem really cool about that as well.
Very chill about it. That's
good. He's a real chill guy.
Again, this is such a professional outfit. I can't believe these venues aren't getting back to you. When they see this, when I send them this link, they're going to be like, get the lads in.
Can you believe that we didn't win an independent podcast award 2 years running? It's funny.
It's just astonishing.
To a D&D podcast.
Matt, how did you feel about you chiming in with
well, I was incredibly worried that I had said something bad and wrong and scary, but no, thankfully it wasn't me, because I said, did I say that? That does kind of sound like I would say, but why would I say it just in the middle of a conversation? But anyway, thankfully on this occasion it was me. It just was me 5 weeks ago, when I'm sure at the time, brilliant, grade A podcasting,
made total
but not now.
sense and wasn't weird.
Yeah, just not talking over someone else saying twat.
Slightly disappointed in Matt, because when he really heard that clip for the first time, he posted a message to me saying, I'm going to fucking kill him. So you've calmed down a little bit since that.
I mean, I was, let's just say, I was on the edge of pulling out TCGS forever, actually. I think my reputation, Sean, means a lot to me, and I think kind of disrepute, isn't it, really?
I think you'll be all right, Matt.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think I agree.
Enough people listen to give you a reputation, to be honest.
Good point. Okay, we're going to carry on. The ghost of Sean Connery has message, which is nice of him. Hi, gents. While I love David's enthusiasm for a Bond villain twist where I, Sean Connery, turn out to be an ex-James Bond and the villain of the piece, I feel like being dead for the past 5 years has slightly scuppered this. It's nice to know David has fought me for the part, even though he doesn't care enough to know that I'd passed away. I mean, it's not like I wasn't a national treasure and one of the most famous actors of all time or anything. Anyway, take care. The ghost of Sean Connery.
Sean, I love you, man, but I was in lockdown with a 2-year-old 5 years ago, so I wasn't paying attention to fucking anything.
I completely forgot. Like when I read this, I was like, "Oh, someone's having a laugh." I'll just go, "Oh no, he did die, fully died."
Lots of things happened during COVID.
No, I genuinely forgot.
I thought he died about 20 years ago.
No, it was 5 years ago, and the ghost of Sean Connery is apparently a listener to the podcast, but hasn't subscribed to our Patreon. So, sorry, not
good to know you can get podcasts in heaven, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and Wi-Fi, presumably. So.
Fucking hell.
It just takes them ages to fill out the form with the Ouija board. It's just too long.
I mean, also putting in the Wi-Fi code as well. It's like,
You've
Wi-Fi
assumed
is shit
heaven
up there.
Which they
down below. Okay,
he made some pretty rough comments towards the end.
I thought you were going to say bad movies. I was like, well, that doesn't really.
I don't think that's a sin, technically.
Okay. Go on.
Luke Summer Hayes. Hello, lads. Very interesting for Sean to say that this is quite an anti-Sean piece this week, isn't it? Very interesting for Sean to say that you can't compare Mario Kart World to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because it has years of DLC, while complaining that the game doesn't have differently coloured Yoshis and Shy Guys, both of which were added to Mario Kart 8 as DLC. Appreciate y'all. Luke Summer Hayes. He'll only fly away, Victorian strongman.
I warn you, Luke. He looks even more pissed off at this point. So hold on to your podcast. Does that work? Hold on to your
butts.
Hold on to your
Just hold on to your.
Is that the episode title?
Legs? Yeah.
Possibly.
Go on.
I don't know. I think the point I was making about Mario Kart 8 having loads of DLC was that obviously there was like 5 times as many tracks and stuff. I don't know if that applies so much to just being able to choose what colour your Shy Guy is, but all right.
Okay, right, okay. It feels like you're not having the best of shows, and I'm sorry, Sean. I'll try and cheat you up.
The worst
later.
part is I put the feedback together for the show.
Well, you just set it up
it.
yourself. My favourite thing to do this week is watch 40-year-old people complain about Mario Kart. It's so funny. I was watching a TikTok just earlier before I come on, and the guy was going, see, the problem is, you could be in first place and then you get a blue shell and then suddenly you're in 12th. And I'm like, is this the first fucking Mario Kart game you've played? What the hell? No one goes into this thinking it's fucking Forza. No. Like, what are you doing? So people getting angry about Mario Kart is my favourite at the moment. I love it. Okay.
When the reality is everyone knows Crash Team Racing is a superior game anyway, so the whole thing's pointless.
Whoa. Okay, I wasn't expecting the anti-Mario Kart slander this early on, but okay. I mean,
let's go for it.
I don't think I've ever played Crash Team Racing. Can you believe that?
Well, you're missing out. You're missing out.
Prepare to have your life play it and you were like, fuck Mario Kart.
The only thing that I remember it was in Friends, and Joey played it, and I thought, God, I want to do that. to that episode of Friends. So, product placement does work. It does work.
Yeah, you're saying you're lazy boy thinking, I really want to... Crash Team Racing would be excellent right about now. Right, W Mans, this is an email, a message because I dared to message the word mid to David once. W Mans, what's up, gang? Last week, y'all was tripping on my boy Double M, Matt, for saying he was mid at the game. But no cap, James said the same about his Game of the Year list on episode 280 after around 7 minutes 34 seconds. Different. He said it the Unk way because he's from the same era as Duke Dennis, early 1990s, early 1900s. I deadass think y'all just jealous my boy Double M is him and has infinity aura, and y'all be some L-mans. Let him cook. I couldn't have put that better myself, actually, W Mans. I think everyone understands that.
Having a stroke.
Yeah, it certainly reads like it. The thing is, James probably said it ironically, and Matt was legitimately trying to float the word as something that you could say in the future. You can't say mid, Matt.
I can't say middle. Can't say.
Oh right, okay. That's close.
I can say middle.
I was gonna have to get the bleep out again. You could because then it doesn't work, does it? That game was middle.
Exactly. So what? So we'll shorten that, I reckon. Shorten the word middle.
I'm so confused about what's happening
right
I might start saying that game was real well middle and see if that catches on.
It fucking won't catch on.
It's like I had a phase of annoying people by saying epic failure.
Oh.
Just the
what was it? Were you 5
say.
Years old? When was this?
University, baby.
When people used to say epic fail all the time. And it's just, yeah.
Yeah, you're mixing
so
up
it's the same thing, saying middle instead of mid. It's just like, what? Why? What?
I reckon I can get middle working now. So
go on then. I'd love to fucking see you try. I'd love that to be your thing now for the next year.
I'll help you out, mate.
Okay.
I'll help you out, Matt.
I'll help you out by not doing it and to go nowhere near
I'll say the word middle as well, Matt. Okay. Gilbert Grape Scissors has messaged feedback on one more thing. I thought we'd get a lot more on this, but there was a lot of discussion on this. Anyway, imagine the scene. The TCGS gang are doing a live stream of the Nintendo Direct, setting out the wave of Switch 2 games to take us up to Christmas. It's a pretty decent offering, but we're coming close to the end of the show. The presenter says we have time for one more thing. The screen fades out and we get an amazing montage of an incredible landscape teeming with life and interesting features to traverse. It looks incredible. Then right at the end we see a logo that makes clear this is a brand new Zelda game. Matt leans back and shouts, "Oh, fuck off. Of course Nintendo are doing a new Zelda game. It's one of the biggest franchises. What a rubbish way to end the show." At least I assume that's what's going to happen, given his most recent assessment of the Microsoft Showcase. Right, Matt? Well, yeah. So I was incredibly angry that they ended a cool cryptic teaser or trailer for it just to be like another Black Ops game. But I think a new Zelda game is different, isn't it?
I think it's completely different.
A new Mario new Zelda game is like, they're not every year.
Because I like it, because I play those games and I like those games.
Black Ops 6 or whichever one it was.
I want to play Zelda Black Ops. That'd be amazing.
Yeah,
that would be great.
Black Ops.
Yeah, so
what a crossover that would
I'm
be.
not sure if you saw it, Ellie, but basically at the end of Microsoft One, like they're like, here's one more thing, and we didn't know, they didn't announce what it was. The trailers looked cool, cryptic. It had an actor that I can't even tell you who the name was, and I was like, what is this? It could be anything. It was kind of sci-fi. It's military. You know, what is this? Like a new kind of third-person action adventure, like a brand new IP for Microsoft. And it ended up saying, "Oh no, it's Black Ops 7." And I was like, "That's just like that's such a shitty way to end it." One More Things for me should be a big surprise. You don't know what's going to happen. Not just announcing a trailer for a game we know is going to come out. Anyway, so
unless
that's why I got so annoyed.
Unless you've actually hired Peter Falk to come out and say, just one more thing.
Now, Peter Falk is dead.
Why is
that would make anything.
I was going to say, why is no one
Get
done
Sean
that?
Connery then instead.
Yeah, we'll back up.
We've got a backup. We'll have to go to our backup. Also dead.
Yeah, so I mean, I do get what Smith's just saying, but a new Zelda game is different. They're not every year. They're few and far between. They're generally always excellent. Not that the Black Ops games aren't, but it's a different. I think a new Zelda, a new Mario. Those are
like Call
huge.
of Duty is an iterative franchise, and
Yes.
that's fine.
Yeah, we get
like
it.
I'm not having a go.
We get it. You
It's
don't
good.
like really popular games. We get it. You're niche. Hey, you don't.
Yeah, like
you're
niche
not
games
cheap,
like
man.
Zelda.
Anyway, it really annoyed me. It still annoys me now. So I saw some people agree with
Does
me.
it really
but most,
still annoy you now? It still annoys you now.
Most didn't agree with me. Yeah, because
I'll admit I'm over it by now.
I agree with Matt. I didn't even know there was a Black Ops 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, so I can't get excited about 7. I think that's a
Well, there was, and I cannot wait to see the next chapter of the army guy's story. I cannot wait for that.
It's a
this
new army
fall.
guy this time. And
Apparently, it
was
might
bit
be a
in the
new
future.
army guy. Yeah,
There was
Apparently it might
robots,
be
and there
new
was like a
army guy.
corporation, right? And they make robots, and they were
Yeah,
like,
it looked really
"Oh,
good.
we're doing
Don't
it for the
fucking
betterment
spoil
of
it."
mankind, right?" But actually, I think it might go bad at some point in the
Okay,
story.
mate,
and
well,
really,
listen, some of us are into it. Yeah, so don't ruin the story for us just because you think you've worked it out. All right. Good.
Anyway, that is it for feedback. Go to tcgs.co/dear TCGS to leave your feedback.
We
I've
now-
got some feedback. No, I've got some feedback.
Oh, hello.
I listened to like, so you went on about Lumines and all that. I was very disappointed you didn't go through every single game. I wanted to hear more about everybody's hot shots golfs.
That's one of the
Where
ones
is
we
my
actually talked about.
Digimon? Where is my Digimon update?
Yeah, there was nothing, was there?
We did
You're
get
not
there was someone in the
delivering a
Discord
service.
who was like, "Well, no wonder you didn't like Summer Games Fest. You skipped half the games, didn't you? You weren't paying attention." Which like,
It was fucking bad though, wasn't
it's
it?
pretty bad.
Yeah, I think if anything, we saved. I didn't know. For the starters, I apologise. I didn't know you were a Digimon fanatic.
Huge.
What was your
Absolutely
favourite?
massive.
What's your favourite Digimon?
Yeah, out of all of them.
Dean.
What? So what? Which one was
Did you
that?
just say Dean?
Pikachu. No,
Oh, right.
Pikachu.
Oh,
Pikachu. Because it's like Pokemon, but in Digimon
Yeah.
it's called Pikachu, isn't it?
I thought
So-
I thought you said Dean.
Yeah, Dean.
That was a better name. I wish I had said Dean. Dean.
Here's a good
I
one.
quite like Steve. I like Ian.
Yeah. Clive.
Janice.
Oh, you know Colin, the little fire one. He's
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the age-old question. Who do you pick as your starters? Is it, Colin, Steve, or Brian?
Love that one. What a game. What a game. Should we get to our reluctant newsman who is adamant that he's not doing the news throughout August? Yeah,
Didn't
no
say-
one
I'm
has
not
stepped
adamant.
up.
I just said, can we rotate it, please?
And I think that is a fair request. I'm just waiting for someone to say yes. And I don't think it's coming. I don't think it's
It will
coming.
happen at some point, I'm
we'll
sure.
rotate it between you and you and you. And
Ba-ba-ba. Go on. Oh, God.
Then
Go on.
What?
Let's get
What?
cut. Carry on.
What-
Don't
what-
worry. I
what?
just made a reference and it was a fucking awful reference. Go on. Let's move on.
The Switch 2, which everyone was like, "Oh, hashtag drop the price. Oh, this is no one's going to buy it. There's no games for it." It sold 3.5 million units in 4 days. Meanwhile, it took the original Nintendo Switch a month to sell 2.7 million. So it's safe to say the Switch 2's done all right. I think there's probably a risk of reading maybe too much into that. I think that availability of the thing has been a massive factor. I know we talking about this on WhatsApp this week. But yeah, it's smashed all known records for Nintendo at least.
Yeah, so they've done it right. Rather than previous console launches, people have suggested. I'm sure it's Wii. I'm sure they've got the stock. They're kind of withholding it to make it more of like a must buy. But they got stock out there, and even with price tag that some people said was too much, and a pretty underwhelming launch lineup other than Mario Kart. Even with that, they've still absolutely smashed it. So Yeah, well done.
Yeah,
I guess.
again though, I do think that there are the fact that it was so available everywhere, people could walk into shops and buy it on day one. Especially in the UK at the very least. I don't know what it was like globally, but I expect it to have been quite widely available.
But I kind of get from the tone of your voice, you're saying it's a negative. Is that a negative thing? You kind of like, well, it's easy to get hold of, so it doesn't count.
I think it's a positive thing that it was more available. I think comparing it to other launch windows is not the best idea because people had to wait like months for the Switch to restock originally. I think they probably would have sold as much, if not more, than 3.5 million in the first 4 days if it was available everywhere and they had the stock for it. But I could be wrong. Who knows? I could be wrong, and that's because I'm humble.
We'll never know that, and it just means that they've done their job a bit better this time. But the Wii, that was obviously massive. But was that massive? It wasn't particularly massive pre-launch. I'm sure that's just the people who knew they're gonna get one. It's more that when it caught on,
it was all word of mouth, wasn't it?
It was all word of mouth and the older gamer,
it was big
etc. etc. Was it?
I don't remember Jimmy Kimmel on the. Was it Jimmy Kimmel with
Fallon
Reggie?
or Kimmel, probably. Yeah,
it was one of them.
I thought that was more like a snowball effect. That once it came out, actually, they're your non-standard gamer playing this machine, and suddenly it was like, actually, I'll get one, and relatives took it around for Christmas, and it suddenly blew up that way.
Yeah. The market. I think it was an exception. The Wii. Because it was so mass market, and Wii Fit as well, had a massive impact. My mother-in-law Jean bought a fucking Wii, it was unbelievable.
Jean did.
Even Jean bought a Wii. She'd never played another console in her life, but she bought a Wii, and it's been under the sofa ever since. So I think that was different.
Matt, you bought a Wii 2 years ago, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really bought the Wii because I needed to feel what it felt like to bowl properly in Wii Sports after trying that. Was it the Worldwide Classics? And I thought, this bowling is rubbish. I need to play the original one.
I think it was Switch Sports that broke you, wasn't it?
I mean, that broke me as well.
Okay.
I think this was before, because Switch Sports, I was like, okay, well, I bought the Wii, and then the rabbits had chewed through the sensor bar, so I was like, okay, well, I'll just get Switch Sports. That'd be incredible. But that wasn't bad. That wasn't rubbish. That wasn't very good either.
I've got a feeling, Sean, that we're not getting the real story, and actually Elodie beat him at Switch Sports bowling, so he was like, well, fuck this, I'm getting the Wii one, this one's shit, I'll get the real one.
It's not a proper sim, not like
it's not good enough. Not good.
Matt wears a bowling glove
before Switch Sports. I already bought it. I was like, I'll show you what rule bowling's like. No, we're not going 10 pin. We're going CEX, and we're going to get a Wii.
Do you think when he beats his daughter, he's like that? That infamous clip of that guy, Matt.
I was like, what the
bowling, for God's sake.
Okay, yeah.
No, the guy who's like, who do you think you are? I am.
I did take a bowling actually recently, and she did beat me, but because I feel like, I'm not sure it's the same with all, but I feel like I've got to kind of keep her within the window. I can't just raise her head. I've got to keep her in the game, because otherwise she gets a bit frustrated. So, and then she mugged me up by beating me. So I made the window too small.
But speaking of word of mouth, obviously Switch 2's done very well. A number of people have said, "Oh, have you got the Switch 2 yet?" I was like, "Yeah." Oh, should I get one? Is it much better? And I was like, nah. It's a slightly better version of the Switch, and you can play the old games on it. So technically, it's better, but
this is it, and
just hold off.
Yeah, so obviously it's flown out in the first week, and that's great, but we don't know how sustainable that is, right? What if they've just rinsed 3.5 million middle-class nerds? Hello. And that might be it. It might fall off a cliff in the next few months. Do you know what I mean? Once that core fan base has been successfully exploited, maybe it won't travel as far as...
I don't know. I still think it'd be really big. I think there are a number of games that need to come out for it before it starts interesting other people. The moment the new Animal Crossing comes out, that is going to be a huge jump, isn't it? Everyone's going to want to... But based on how well the last Animal Crossing did, I think that's going to be the big one that sort of breaks it. And also the fact that, fucking hell, man, I let Charlie use it in handheld mode the other day, 6 years old. And I was like, nah, actually, I'm not comfortable with that at all. This is not a child's toy, this one. They need to bring out a safer version of that console. A Charlie-proof version. So hopefully that's coming in the near future.
There's always a big wave of early adopters and excitement around it, and then it does quite often plummet. As I found out, it's quite normal. I got in loads of trouble when the PS3, I think, came out, and I was in charge of gamesindustry.biz, and we got hold of some sales figures from some nefarious, awful source, and we ran the headline like PS3 sales plummet 70% or something. And then Sony were like, of course they do, because everyone, like all the people who really gives a shit, go out and buy it, and then the next week they've all got one. So of course, and like my boss was really cross with me, and Sony were really cross, and my boss was like, look, so Sony, they want to like tell us off, and I was like, what? He was like, no, we have to go and like see them, and we just have to take our trousers down, and then they're just.
Oh no, you're in trouble with Big Sony.
Oh my god!
And I was like, oh, really? Okay. And he's like, so they want to take us out for lunch at SAG-AFTRA and like tell us off. And I was like, wait, so we get to go to like a really
oh no, really don't tell me off again.
Yeah. Really fancy dim sum restaurant that I could never afford to go to, which they're going to pay for just so they can have a go at us. And like, we did, and we went and we sat there, and they were going. And the thing is, what you've got to understand about retail, and I was going, oh no, I'm so sorry.
You speak up a bit, I can't hear.
Yeah, I feel absolutely terrible about the whole thing. Have you got any more of them prawn things? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, like, say again why I'm a terrible journalist. Yeah.
Next week's headline was PS3 sales down 90%.
Yeah, really shit in brackets.
Exactly. But sales of prawn toast at SAG-AFTRA up 150.
That's just shot right up.
Yeah.
Did you ring that person that gave you those dodgy sales figures? Did you ring them back and tell them off and go, well, you sold us some duff sales figures here?
And then you took them to KFC.
No, the sales figures were real. Yeah. No, the sales figures were right, but their argument was, they were correct, but their argument was I shouldn't have run it as, look, this is proof that that this console's shit and it's going to fail. Because you've got to remember as well, it was a different time then. It was wartime. It was still like you picked a side.
It was console wartime.
Yeah, it was a great console wars of 2006, 2007.
Yeah, so people actually gave a shit, you know.
They did give a shit.
So yeah.
But then you see it now with like stories, and I'm not having a go at anyone.
Oh, here we go.
But you see loads of news stories that are like, oh, the player numbers on this like obvious single player game have plummeted a month after launch. It's like, yeah.
I mean, I understand that now. But at the time, I was just like, that's quite an exciting headline. That'll make people click on it, which is basically how I wrote all headlines. Because that's what journalists do.
Just a strong taste of Japanese food every time you're looking through sales figures these days.
We didn't even have the word clickbait in those days, but I invented it. That's what I'm saying.
Like, do you think Nintendo are kicking themselves and not having a Mario or Zelda at launch, or they're like, doesn't matter, people are going to buy it and it'll come when it comes?
No, I think there'll be another wave. There'll be another wave of it when Donkey Kong comes out next month,
and whatever the Christmas game is. And
yes, okay.
SAG-AFTRA have reached a tentative agreement with major games companies regarding because there's been this ongoing strike for the last year. So
I'll be honest, I didn't.
Okay.
And I blame James Farley for that.
I'm pretty sure he brought it up, didn't he?
Yeah, but he probably skimmed over it. I need the hard facts. What's happened?
So basically, they've reached an agreement with the bargaining group, which includes your sort of major games publishers. So this was, unsurprisingly, around the use of AI, because the sort of impending threat. If you're an actor, the fact that recordings of your voice can be taken and then just used to generate more dialogue further down the line. So this agreement is my very limited understanding of it is that so this isn't about like no AI, never again, you're not allowed to do it, but it's just making sure actors are suitably protected and compensated if this takes place. So basically the terms of this agreement ensure sort of future payments down the line if someone's voice is used for to generate more lines. So there has been this strike on for the last year. It is weird though. Like Dave says, as consumers, you wouldn't necessarily know, right? It's not like, oh well, there was a voice actor strike on, so I guess we're not getting any games with voice acting in them for the next year. But I gather there's loads of complicated reasons why some actors can still work, and some might have like interim agreements that have been okayed by the union, and it's very, very complicated. But yeah, broadly speaking, the strike is now over apparently. So,
and I think it's important to note as well is that you know, especially with voice acting, AI is genuinely getting to that point where that I'm playing games and thinking, is this a real voice actor I'm listening to here? There is that, like, it's unlike well, I don't know how well technology works, but when it comes to voice acting, I do think it is sort of the more imminent threat.
Yeah, I mean, I've
some
been
of the writing.
fooled by it. You know, we talked about the finals, the game, all the
that's right. Yeah.
The commentator stuff in that is all AI generated. I did not spot it at all.
Yeah.
So it does
Okay.
happen.
Well, it's good to hear that's been resolved. Cool.
Yeah. What is next? Oh yeah. So you know, last week obviously we were slagging off this year's Summer Game Fest showcase.
How dare you?
I know.
That poor man.
I know. I was saying that.
Poor man.
One thing he's not is poor.
He's just trying to do a job. He's just trying to bring video games to the masses.
Well, he's
put food on the table.
Best.
So apparently peak viewership for this year's Summer Game Fest showcase was up 89% year on year.
That's right.
Which is fucking mad. I'll be
That's
interested
because
to see
that's entertainment.
I'll be interested to see if it's like, if there's like like next year, because I don't know what I mean, I know none of us were particularly blown away by it. I don't know what broad public opinion was. Maybe everyone loved it and we're hopelessly out of touch. It probably isn't that though. I think we're fine. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what next year's like. Whether
Who knows?
Because you know, it's always that reaction is always going to be like delayed by a year, right?
Are you his agent, Ellie? What it was?
I know. Listen. You may only let me on this podcast once a year, but I am determined to turn it into a Jeff Keighley Stan podcast. He needs representation. I am a Jeff Keighley apologist. I tell you what, I bet the Epsom Playhouse picks up the phone to Jeff Keighley when he wants to.
I bet they fucking do. Yeah, I bet they do. You're not wrong.
Well, let's not pretend we are Jeff Keighley.
This is true. I knew we were going to talk about Jeff Keighley because we always do when I'm on the podcast, and I thought, I'll try and win you over. I'll look up some fun facts about Jeff Keighley.
Okay.
And so I looked on his Wikipedia page, and there were no fun facts. So there was just nothing interesting.
Section on his page.
He was like, he's Canadian, or the Doritos. Like there was no fun facts. So then I was like, I'll ask ChatGPT. Obviously, let's empty a lake in order to have some Jeff Keighley facts. And I said, tell me some fun facts about Jeff Keighley. And it just started making shit up. And I was like, I want true facts about Jeff Keighley. And it was like, no, there aren't any. So
you defeated ChatGPT. That was the one thing that broke ChatGPT.
I mean, it's not that one thing, though, is it?
Trying to tell you something interesting about Jeff Keighley. Because
I know James isn't here to defend himself. Can we talk about him trying to use ChatGPT to genuinely solve a problem this week? And
what was that?
Failing miserably.
What was that?
It's when Dave, you were saying about in Mario Kart you can't.
Oh, that's right.
Party
and he
up
was
with
asking
friends.
ChatGPT about it.
Yeah. So Dave, so just to recap for anyone who's not aware, so Dave was saying about the fact that in Mario Kart World you can't party up with friends and then play with randoms, right? And Dave was like, look, we've tried everything, nothing works, I've looked it up. And James was like,
it sounds like walking into a war room. It sounds like walking into a war room. I've come in and gone, guys, we've tried everything and nothing's worked.
Dave's not slept for 3 days.
Yeah, we've got a situation.
I'm shaking. I've got coffee in my hand. I'm shaking.
He's taking his glasses off and snapping them. Yeah, exactly.
Get me down the port.
So then James strides in. He's like, well, I've asked ChatGPT, which has given the following answer. And it was just a load of made up shit. It was like, oh, do this. And then go on this bit of the menu. And Dave's like, yeah, that isn't there, James. That's not a real solution.
It works in academia, doesn't it? It's like a tool for them.
Yeah.
Right.
The only fact I learned about Jeff Keighley is that his birthday is on the 24th of June. So that's 8 days, lads. You've got
not far.
Get him a present. So.
Should we celebrate it? Is that a Monday? Can we do a Jeff Keighley special?
It's a Tuesday.
Should we ask him on?
24th.
If you want to come on this pod, you have to come on your birthday.
Jeff Keighley birthday stream.
He'll be available. Okay.
So this one is, I mean, if James was here, this would probably be a Fantasy Zone thing.
Yes.
But yeah, so basically, The guy who plays John Marston in Red Dead Redemption, his name's Rob Wheatoff, teased on a stream. Now this, when someone's obviously just sort of ad-libbing on a stream or whatever, and then it gets written down, and then someone else reads it out, and it makes them sound like an idiot. I'm going to do that, but I'm not having to go at Rob. It's just quite funny how this is going to sound. I've got such exciting news. I can't share it with you right now, and it's absolutely killing me. By the end of this week, hopefully sooner, you're going to, not this week, I guess, probably not as soon as tomorrow, but definitely before Friday. Oh my goodness, the news that I have to share, and I won't be the only one sharing it.
Imagine if he was the only one sharing it.
Yeah, no one else even bothered.
Yeah, no one gives a shit.
Who cares?
And apparently, yeah, he was streaming Red Dead, and he was like, especially because I'm playing this game, it's making me really excited. So I reckon it's a Switch 2 port.
Wait, Red Dead 1?
I've read 1 or 2. Do you reckon
Is it also Red Dead 2 kind of like current gen spruced up version?
No,
and
it'll be a
Switch
Switch
2.
port. No, it'll either be a remaster of Red Dead 1. I don't think it will be that because they've recently released that on the Switch. I reckon it'll be Red Dead 2 coming to Switch 2. It's hardly...
Well, yeah, but surely also like a big current, like Xbox and PS5 big spruce up. I think if you do the work on Switch, why wouldn't you then get it across other current gen platforms as well? It'd be mad not to, wouldn't it?
It was 2 different
PS5
projects, isn't it?
How do you mean? Sorry, so this is like a remaster of Red Dead 2. They can make it 4K.
They're not going to put the remaster version on the Switch 2. It won't be able to handle it.
It might be able to. We don't know. We'd like DLSS.
Okay, all right. It might be able to.
I think it'll be on PS5 and Xbox for sure. It'll be like, get it on those consoles, make it look amazing. It comes to Switch 2 then maybe, but I think it'll be them two primarily, and PC maybe.
We'll see. What if
I
it's
can
nothing?
exclusively reveal it's actually Lego Red Dead Redemption.
Lego Red Dead Mario Party.
Do you mean it's just...
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even bother.
I mean, is a remaster enough to make anyone play it?
I think in that moment you realised how weak your argument was at the start of the show.
No, it wasn't. I'm sticking by that. What I lost faith in then was the joke that I was going to do because it would have been too long and not funny. Sometimes I do nip them in the bud. Right, last news story. Splatoon Raiders got a weird announcement on the Nintendo Today app. Where for a little while you could look at it and go, oh wow, they've announced a new game, but you couldn't share it with anyone because it's on the Nintendo Today app.
Yeah, they've also stopped live video recording, haven't they, on that app? So you can't
screenshot it, you can't fucking... Yeah, anyways, then about...
What, are they turning into a fucking bank? Why can't you have a screenshot?
I think you can screenshot, because I think I screenshot it today.
Oh, no, yeah, sorry, yeah, you
but
can.
I think it's video.
I did a recording of, it was like a month before the Switch 2 was out, and it was like, hey, you can look at the Mario Kart box art and rotate it around and look at it from different angles. And I did a video of that because it was fascinating. Anyway, Splatoon Raiders.
What is this game, please?
The trailer doesn't give much away. It looks like it's a weird sort of survival / base building thing. You're on some island somewhere and it shows you sort of running around on a base.
Is it an extraction shooter?
It might be an extraction shooter, who knows? But yeah, this is going to be a Switch 2 exclusive, apparently. And also they announced a load of updates for Splatoon 3, which is weird. So it's got a Switch 2 patch. So it's now 60 frames in the towns. Big news.
Oh, that's good, because they were dreadful before.
They were quite
They were 2 frames.
Yeah. Like, you could argue it didn't really matter, because it was just the town bits. But it was really jarring when you came out of a match, and then you're back in the town, and it's half the frame rate. And they added a load of weapons and stuff. I feel like the takeaway from this is actual Splatoon 4 is a long way off. If they're announcing a spin-off and, hey, here's more stuff for Splatoon 3 that we've already sort of officially, finished. Like, they had the final fest and everything. Now it's just sort of repeating content. Yeah,
well, this might be that classic kind of pre-production thing. Maybe Splatoon 4's in pre-production, and while that is a lot of game design work or art, this and that. Like for programmers, like, well, you guys work on this update, and then by the time that finished, maybe programming or coding will be able to start on the Splatoon 4. But it's good because we never expected a big Splatoon update. Did we? Just feel like it came out of nowhere.
Because
everyone was done with
ran flawlessly on Switch 1. Anyway, apart from the town bits.
Did you just announce the Switch 3?
Sorry,
just announced
done it again.
Switch 3. He can't stop himself. He's just blurting out announcements left, right. It's like Jeff fucking Keighley over it.
So yeah, Isaac thinks keeps asking when it's coming out, and it's like, mate, they've shown like a 30-second video of it. It's a long way off.
You got to keep that boy away from marketing. I think.
I know.
It sounds like the wrong thing to do to show him that there's a game coming out.
Because this trailer came out, and then it was like 2 days later the patch for Splatoon 3 went live, and like, yeah, fucking 6 a.m. he's like playing it, and he's like, oh, look all the new weapons, and I'm like, oh my god. Go to bed.
Do you know? I didn't say this. Joe signed us up for a screen time webinar for your children
okay.
to see on
Ironic.
the release date of the Switch 2.
It's perfect time for it.
She said, David, we need to join this webinar. I said, I'm playing fucking Mario Kart, so forget about it.
I'm looking at a screen.
I can watch both at the same time, but you know.
No one ever needs to join any webinar. We could just cancel all webinars and the world would be a better place.
I really hate that term. Like, I really hate that term. It really fucking gets to the back of my throat, and I don't know why. Webinar. It's just, you just want to go, shut up, please.
Come on. Was that your safe word for a while during sexy times in the video?
Webinar!
Especially because like during COVID, because every seminar was a webinar. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just became meaningless. It's like, just call it seminar at this point. Because everyone knows you're not physically going there.
I'll tell you what, though, the neighbours thought we were very educated, so that was fine. That one. What have you been playing? Are we done?
Okay.
We're done.
No, go on.
I was going to say they also announced like a Donkey Kong Direct, didn't they, via Nintendo today.
Oh yeah.
Is that Wednesday? Is it Wednesday?
It's Wednesday
at 2 o'clock.
2 p.m.
So yeah.
I don't want to watch that. I've already bought Donkey Kong. I don't want to watch bits of the game that I can't wait to play. It just feels like a really weird thing to do.
Yeah, but like, I'm getting that anyway, unless the reviews are really terrible. So yeah, I don't really need to see more. But it's good.
Even if the reviews are terrible. How did Mario Kart World review in the end? Do you know? Does anyone know? It's such a weird fucking.
It's mad, isn't it? Because in a way, it
out.
doesn't matter. Like
No, it doesn't matter, actually. Right, should we do
got
what we've been playing?
87 on Metacritic.
God, that's low for a big Mazda isn't it?
It's not great.
I know. Okay, right. But the problem is when you're in first place, sometimes you get blue shelled and you end up in 12th. Shall we play? Should we talk about what we've been playing this week? We've all been playing, apart from Ellie, but we can tell you all about this game called The Alters, which was released on Game Pass and other systems this lovely week. Do you want to explain? Look, we've spoken about this game a bit, but you spoke about it, Sean, so most people sort of phase out a little bit. But let's try and get the plot, the synopsis of the game down first, like the basic setup of the game.
Yeah.
And then we'll get to what we thought of it.
So you play as a guy called Jan Dolsky, and it's the future. We're in space and that, and you're on this mission, supposed to be going to this planet, try and find this rare rock element, whatever it is, substance.
It's an element, isn't it?
Yeah. And basically, you land on the planet. The rest of your crew is gone. They're all dead for reasons unknown. You make it to the base, and basically, this planet is incredibly hostile. The sunlight on it that kills you with radiation. So you you get to this base and it's like, right, we've got to move. We've got like 5 days before the sun comes
Earth
up.
in 50 years, is it? It's not Earth in 50 years, is it?
Bit political, David.
Well, that's the kind
no
of
politics, please.
And and because you're the only guy running this station that was supposed to be, supposed to have like an entire crew with all people with different, specialties and stuff, you're kind of fucked. But you've got this very sort of loose connection with this corporation that sent you out in the first place, and they're like, basically, and you find some of this rapidium, which is this element you've been sent to find, and they're like, right, you can use that. You need to use the rapidium, and basically, this base has this like quantum computer on it that shows Jan his life, right, and all these sort of decisions he's made, and what it can do is it can branch off from that, and it's like, well, if you made this decision at this point, you would end up, your life would play out this way, and you'd end up with this set of skills, and you can create alternate versions of yourself from other timelines. And it starts out quite sort of prescriptive, like it basically tells you which one to do first. So you get this technician, he helps you fix the base, and then you roll on. And So your overall goal is you're supposed to be reaching a certain point on this planet, avoiding the sun, and also getting to a place where you can be rescued. And the sort of the general structure is you arrive at a new area, you then sort of running around in third person, finding materials and stuff, and setting up supply lines, metals and minerals and organic stuff for making food, stuff like that. Whilst also managing everything that's going on in the base. And as time progresses, you're creating more and more of these altars, and the story sort of unfolds as a result of that. And it's when I played the demo, I absolutely loved it, and I love the fact that it immediately you clone this first guy, and straight away he's like, well, where the fuck did I come from? Have I been pulled out of another timeline? Have I just been was I ever real? I don't. And it does sort of get around to answering those questions, but the fact that it asks the questions immediately, I thought was really encouraging. I was like, right, it's kind of taking the sort of moral implications of this quite seriously. But my worry was is it just going to sort of drop it and sort of end up, is it going to drop the ball at some point? Is the story not really going to pan out? I don't know how many hours I'm into it. I'm 45 days into the game now.
Okay. All right.
It has only gotten more and more interesting.
Oh, God,
so do the altars
man.
do they have memory? So does the
They do,
technician
yeah.
have a child? Does he have a memory of childhood?
Yeah, so
and-
they have the same memory as you do up until the point where you branch. So in fact, it really drums at home, because at the start of the game, when you create the first altar, they're very much like, fuck you, why have you created me? What is this? Why have you... Oh, am I just a tool that you needed for this moment, and all this sort of stuff? And one of your missions is, look, try and reconcile with this altar of yours, because this is the only way you're going to work together. And you literally sit down and talk about memories of growing up. And I think, if I've got this right...
is it do you remember when Marathon was called Snickers? Things like that.
yeah.
Not in my timeline, mate. Fucking hell.
What's your favourite
Oh,
sweets?
Bagpuss! Do you remember Bagpuss? Oh!
They talk about the mums cooking and food and stuff like that, and I try, and
Wow.
honestly, I'm what, 2 hours in, I think. I'm in the second area. I'm on the fifth or sixth day or whatever it is. I fucking intensely love this, because it's the element of sci-fi that I really like, where it's a stupid idea that plays out, where you just sit there and go, oh yeah, what would that feel like if that was me? It was that sort of stuff. And my only concern is that, well, initially I went into it going, I don't like mining games, I don't like crafting, I don't really like asset management stuff. I can find that can spiral out of control and actually become more of a sort of a anxiety than actually, enjoying playing the game. But I really like the story stuff. But the more I play it, the more I think, oh yeah, but all that stuff is so integral to making it work. I need to create another altar, because I need to keep this element coming in, because then we can't move off at this time and all this sort of stuff. So it feels really integral to it, and actually, it's pretty well done the way everything's really simple to do. So all the mining stuff's really simple. Does it stay that simple, Sean, please?
Yeah, it's as you get to the later areas, it sort of gets harder to reach the spots that you can mine. There's a bit more thought that goes into finding the veins of metal or whatever. But every area is pretty much the same process of finding all the spots. Right, okay, I've secured these different materials or whatever, and then it's just back to sort of management of which I think it does a really good job of allowing you, you can do all the management stuff remotely. So when you first start out, it's right, here's the refinery, here's the workshop, here's where you build stuff, here's where you do this, that, and the other. And then you realize quite quickly, you can just do all that stuff from menus, which makes things a lot smoother and a lot.
Yeah, because you can set up workshop stuff from the kitchen, can't you?
Yeah, totally.
For
Or even
instance.
just when you're out exploring.
Presumably, you can also send some of your altars to just go and do the work for you as well,
Yes,
right?
you
And
can,
you go
yeah,
off,
yeah.
so you can get them to build stuff for you while you go off and do the exploring and stuff.
Yeah, so I've been out and about, and I've needed a bit of mining equipment or whatever, and I've just got one of my altars to make it back at the base while I'm out, and then just placed it and So stuff like that is really well done, I thought. But it's certainly, yes, the resource management and the survival stuff, so this is by the Frostpunk developers, which is a game that was all about surviving in this like freezing cold environment, and it's all about making hard decisions, running out of resources all the time, people getting stressed, people dying, people hating you for your decisions if you start getting stuff wrong. So like quite a lot of that sort of carries through to this, but this is all, there's between 1 and 5 of you on this station, rather than being responsible for like a whole town or whatever. But it also makes it very intensely personal as well, as a result.
So honestly, this just sounds like a parenting sim. You just create other versions of yourself, and then they bitch and moan about the fact you even brought them into existence, and then they use up all your fucking resources. This is like having teenage children. It sounds exhausting.
Well, and it's interesting you should say that, because
that is fun. You're bang on there. Actually.
The options you're given, like when you're talking to your alters and stuff, it's very clear that like you can play this as like, I'm the main one, you're all just versions of me.
Or the David Turner syndrome on this podcast. Yep.
Or you can be like, no, well, we're all the same guy. It's just that, we made different choices or whatever. You can sort of choose how you're interpreting what's going on.
It is very much like that, actually, because as a character, you have an energy meter, and you go from like, you have a certain time where at that time of the day you'll start to be exhausted, and the longer you're in that exhausted state, you could eventually pass out. But also, the later you're up, the more it's going to affect you the next day. So very, very much is like, you've got to go to bed now. You're going to be so tired tomorrow. Just go to bed now.
The analogy just works the more you talk
it's
about
perfect.
it. Really, yeah.
As long as you don't have to actually breastfeed anyone at any point, then I'm.
No. There's a really intense 45-minute QTE actually, which I like.
I think like one thing that's really impressed me. So as I say, when you first start out, it's very much there's one particular altar you have to make, and then after that, the next one, there's one you really should make, but it kind of opens up. Like there's sort of half a dozen different altars, and you can pick which ones you want, and I feel like we keep finding that in sort of choice-based games, it's so often an illusion, or like every so often there'll be a story event that's like, okay, this brings every sort of players who made different decisions kind of brings them all to this same point to make it easier for the devs to like. That stuff seems to be getting harder, right, as games get more advanced and look better and sound better. And there are scenes in this that I've watched and then been like, oh my god, this could have played out with a completely different set of characters almost. And it doesn't skip a beat. Like, it's amazing how.
Yeah, when I get there, it's going to be really interesting to compare notes to see how different it is. Yeah, I'm sort of in love with this. I've got concerns about where it's going in the future, but fucking hell, it really does feel like 2 different games, doesn't it? The one where you're in the ship. You're not going to like this, Sean, but it reminds me of Harold Halibut quite a bit as you'll go walking around that ship. It reminds me of Harold Halibut. But outside of the ship, it is it's very much it's beautiful, right?
Yeah,
it's a
really
some
of the scenes, particularly when you get to like Act 1, like the second area. Yeah, some scenes with like the blues and oranges look absolutely gorgeous, and it's such a striking image seeing that humongous giant tire basically roaming the land. It's like it is
a very silly. Like, just to look at the base is bizarre, because it's like it's like a giant bike tire wheel, basically, with all the buildings on the inside of it, and it just rolls along sideways. But
it's lucky it doesn't come across like a big cliff or something. It just gets unless it does. Ooh.
Well, yeah. So what I really loved when you first alter is like
how long
when
have you played, Matt?
I'm in Act 1. I'll probably play like an hour and a half or 2 hours maybe.
Yeah.
So, but after you meet the first altar, the relationship's a bit strange, shall we say? So, like, one way to get around that is to learn about their life, and you can go to like this the quantum computer to see, as Sean mentioned earlier, all the various kind of milestones of their life and how that differs between you and the altar. And I thought that was really good. They're very nice short paragraphs of text about all lots of major points in their life. It was interesting hearing about the person you played originally, their relationship to their parents versus the altar, and I thought it was even in those bits, quite emotionally affecting. Actually, some of the things that went wrong, or he didn't have enough belief in himself, so he didn't do the certain thing, but the other altar did do that. I thought that was really well done.
And
Also,
they're all sort of believably flawed as well. There's not, there's no sort of one life path where you're like, oh well, this guy did everything right and he's happy. And he's fine.
There's no Biff Tannen in Back to the Future where you go into the future and it's all completely different. But
have you two spent much time rearranging your ship? Because I've spent more time than I probably should have done. Because I was like, okay, what is because. Yeah, you can like move all your components around your ship to make it easier. You can move lifts around. You can add extra rooms. Obviously, you can add corridors. I was like, what's the best way of doing this? Do I get just 2 separate lifts from bottom to top? Like how am I? So I'm moving around.
You're trying to min-max it, aren't you?
Well, yeah. But I think rightly so, because when you go into a ship after like fast traveling, you arrive at the what's it called the bit where there's like there's suddenly no air. Was it not vacuum?
Airlock.
Airlock, yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, if airlock's where you land, it makes sense to surely have the command thing one side and like the communication room the other.
You're not a technical guy, are you, Matt? The command thing.
Well, there's the command room, that's one, and then the communications room. And I thought it made more sense to have them either side or on the same floor, because I was going to those places and like loads, and I put quantum down south.
See, I thought I've had a few. I haven't sort of been constantly moving stuff around, but I've had a few sort of major refits, and then every time I'm just like, I don't know where I'm fucking going now.
Yeah, I'm using the map a lot.
The base building stuff seems all right. I don't think it's necessary. Like, it feels a bit weird that it's it's this weird sort of puzzle trying to get as much in. I have got one question though, Sean. Are you into the game deeper than I am? I don't quite understand how storage works. Like, what is in storage and what's on you, and why is there?
That's the thing. I feel like I'm managing more than anything else. Like, I'm always running out of storage space.
But do you just, if you want more storage space, you just buy a new storage room and it automatically sends stuff there?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
But then it gets really annoying because the more stuff is in your base, the more mass it has and the more fuel you need to set off to the next place. And you can quite easily exceed. So say your fuel tank only has like up to 300 fuel in it, and it'll just be like, well, your base needs 350 fuel to shift it, so you just can't move. So it's like, right, so I've got to delete some. Usually it ends up being storage that you have to delete because you need everything else, right? Every other room has a purpose. So you're then trying to reduce all your resources. I ended up having to just like bin loads of stuff before I moved on to Act 2.
Well, I'm interested, and the other question then is, it's I fucking forgot what I was going to ask. Why does this happen to me? Oh shit! What was I going to ask? When you're saying you have to, that was it. So when I first started this game, I booted up the game and it says, here are a bunch of difficulty options. And you could select, I just selected easy on all of them because I didn't want to get into the asset management stuff. Does that make that do you remember what the options were? Because I didn't even read them. I just put them all on easy.
Well, it's interesting because, so you choose, there's like the survival elements and then there's the, what it calls action elements, which I think is probably overstating it. I won't spoil what that means. But you set them separately. And the action stuff you can set to easy, but the survival stuff only goes down to medium. There's only medium and hard, which I think is the devs basically
I just kept mine in the middle, so I assume that was medium.
I think the devs are sort of basically saying, like, no, the resource stuff is going to be stressful, and that's the point. But it's not constantly stressful. Normally, it's just to me, it's just quite a fun, sort of efficiency puzzle. We all love those, don't we?
Sure.
So I've got into games.
But then there are times when it does those like magnetic storms, so you can't really go outside, and also like all your resources are just being drained super quickly, so you have to like prepare for those. But again, that was like Frostpunk did that, where it'd be like, right, there's going to be a snowstorm, like you can't send any teams out to get more food, you can't do this, that, and the other. You've just got to hunker down and survive. And there is definitely something like it is stressful, but also something weirdly like this. It's quite a good feeling when you have adequately prepared and you're just like, right, this is fine. We just got to stay in the station for a couple of
I am slightly concerned that side of the game is going to ruin it for me, but we'll see how.
I worry if it's going to be like the busy, because I'm enjoying the story, I'm enjoying the location, the environment, how it looks, the general themes.
Is fucking great.
Yeah, but if it gets into mad busy work territory, I might be a little bit. But hey,
I feel like it's. I was saying to Dave, it's felt quite like in terms of the sort of the pacing between the story stuff and the resource stuff, I think has been spot on. But then I like the resource. I don't mind the resource stuff, right? So if you're really just playing it for the story, I can't say, maybe you'll resent it every time the resource stuff comes into play.
I'm enjoying the loop for now. So yeah, I'm sure I don't see that changing too much, but if it gets like at points, it's just get like overcooked, where like you haven't quite got enough alters to do all the jobs, and something's going to have to go. But
I've got
I'm
a horrible
it.
feeling, and I'm not spoiling anything because I don't know, but I have a feeling the ending of this is going to kill me one way or the other.
I've got theories on story, which I guess we won't talk about now. But
what do you mean? Like make you sad, or the character's going to die?
Yeah, it's sort of it's planted the seed, and it does this very early on, that like you don't really know what's going to happen to the alters. So assume you get rescued at the end. It's very much like, well, these are all clones. So what if we all get back to Earth, what happens to them? And it leaves that question open.
Really weird sex party.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I did wonder if it was going to go there. It hasn't yet.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So
I can't imagine Matt coming to space and then landing with 14 Matts.
I think one's enough.
Like.
One is enough.
You get everything done by himself, it'll be all right.
Good point. Yeah. Do you know how long is this game going to be? So you're on day 45,
20 hours.
Day 45, yeah. How many hours? Sorry, Dave.
20 apparently.
Okay.
Okay, it's not
what
bad.
I've read in reviews.
I thought, okay, I wasn't sure if it's a short one, but is it actually one of those games where it's actually 120 hours if you do all the things, but if it's 20, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, around 20 is what I said.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Cool. The only other new game we've got down in front of us is Trash Goblin, and you've been playing it, Sean. And I think we should be upfront that it's
I was going to say,
by a
full
very
disclosure,
good friend of the show.
Long-time friend of the show, Andrew Smith.
I miss you, Andrew Smith. Well, get in touch again. We went to a Queens of the Stone Age gig together. Can you believe that?
I was going to say, he's one of those people that I just always used to see at EGX, and now...
Yeah,
no, you don't go to EGX.
Yeah, I used to see him in Develop Brighton.
He's no Jeff Keighley.
He really isn't.
Right,
and I think he knows that.
There can be only one. There can be only one.
Yeah, I just bumped into him at Develop Brighton. And it's Andrew, but it's those days are over
now. So yeah, he's a friend of the show. He sent us codes for this, so full disclosure. This is Trash Goblin, and it is a game where you are literally a goblin that runs a shop where you sell trash. So you like trash comes in, it's all dirty and it's fucked up, and you clean it up and you go, right, sick, that pot is now clean, put that on a shelf. And and every day people come to your shop and they're like, I need a magnifying glass, I need a pot, I need a jug, I need this, that and the other. And you're just sort of you're just cleaning stuff up, managing this inventory. It was a weird one because at first I found it quite stressful because the stuff that comes into your shop is like random, right? You're just like, right, and now I've got this, and someone might want a certain item, and you're just not getting that item, and you're like, fuck's sake, like, like what am I gonna do? And then you realise there's no time limit. Someone will come to you and be like, I need a whistle, or whatever, and you'll be like, all right, that's going to take me a week, mate. Don't worry. Do you know what I mean? Like, there is no...
breathing
no one gives
in through your teeth like a mechanic.
So once you realise there's no time limit, and maybe, I don't know, maybe it introduces that stuff later on, I don't know. Once you realise you can just crack on, just polishing stuff up, and adding to your inventory, and then, someone will come and ask for something, and you might not have it, and it doesn't really matter. You can just crack on. It's a really nice way to spend a bit of time. I think Andrew was saying like the story is like 5 hours long, but then there's people on Steam that have logged like 5 times that just because they're just like doing it. You sort of every item you get, the idea is that it's like covered in filth or whatever. So there's this sort of little block breaking mini game, which is weirdly enjoyable. You're sort of clicking through these blocks to destroy them, but then there's some that can only be hit from certain angles, so you sort of rotating it and sort of smashing through it. And then you polish it up. And it's like, there's no denying, it's similar itch scratched. That's not a sentence. I was going to say similar itch scratched than the itch scratched by Power Wash Simulator. It's that same sense of like,
which I've been playing again this week, by the way.
And then just being like, right, good, that's clean now, on the shelf.
Someone will want that. I booted that game up again this week, Sean.
Oh yeah.
Power Sim. Yeah.
Have any of you got any Guinness World Records for playing Power Wash?
No, I should. No.
I don't think anyone on the show right now that has. Oh, none of us have. None of us for. Oh, wait.
Ellie's gone.
Ellie's gone to collect something potentially.
She's going to pull it out from a plastic Sainsbury's bag for life. Guaranteed.
Sorry, just needed to quickly I've got to hang these up earlier, so I'll just quickly...
There's a couple of Guinness World Records there.
Nice. Where do you keep them?
In my hallway.
Will you hang them up?
Hang on, I can't.
Yeah, you got. The guests have got to see them straight away.
Is it the first thing you see when you walk into your house?
Yes. Even when you open the door, like, so every post person or Amazon delivery person, that is the first thing they see. And
you open the door all the way.
Yeah.
It's needless to do it all the way just to show.
You know when they want to take a picture of you holding the parcels, do you sort of make sure that they're in shot?
I put the parcel on here. I put it on here, and they go, "There you go." Take.
When it comes, sorry, are those in your way? Sorry, I'll just. My Guinness World Records.
I ordered glass cleaner for these.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of having them made into a bra that I can just wear all the time. But I have got a third one, of course, that I couldn't carry. And I don't have breasts like the woman from Total Recall.
Total Recall,
I don't know how it's going to work. But,
what was the Power Wash Simulator 1 for?
For playing Power Wash Simulator.
No, they don't just give them out for playing it.
You've played, but I played it. I don't have a Guinness World Record for it. Is it the amount of time you played it?
Do you not want to tell me because you know I'll fucking beat it? Because I will fucking beat it.
I wish you all the best of luck. I can tell you that 3 people. I've got an article about this actually coming out in A Profound Waste of Time in the autumn.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I think that's the one I've ordered. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm not getting you a free one, so that's good. I've already been paid for it, so it makes no odds to me. But anyway, yes. So I played it for 24 hours, 6 minutes, and 33 seconds.
I can play it for 34 seconds then.
Right, you can. So the tricky bit is genuinely, is obviously, that's a long time, but it's the gathering of evidence. So I thought you could just like play it on Twitch and then like there you go, that's proof. But you actually need 2 witnesses at all times, and they have to have a logbook and they have to log it all, and then you need someone like watching the watchers to make sure that's all above board and they don't just piss off and go to the toilet. And then you need people to come with stopwatches, 2 people to come and have start and stop the stopwatches at the end of the thing. You need to have the whole thing filmed on a camera that's not online. So then obviously you need 2 cameras really in case one camera fails. So, and you have to have an atomic clock. I didn't even know what a fucking atomic clock was. A fucking atomic clock. I've got it down there somewhere. Atomic clock.
Great band.
It's it's an excellent sex position, and it's just about that. So logistically it's an absolute disaster. But my amazing Twitch community basically did it. They did all the witnessing stuff, and they all signed up to do shifts. Like there were people literally setting alarms for 3 a.m. to come and watch me play this.
That's amazing,
game. And it was wonderful. I'm very grateful to them. So it was.
I thought you were going to say some people in suits came along and were like sat next to you as you were watching, as you were playing the game.
One of the McWhirter brothers. Is it McWhirter? Is it who owns the Guinness?
Yes.
One of them's dead.
One of them's dead, and at least one of them was a fascist. But I can never remember if it was both.
Well, maybe actually don't hang them in the hallway then. Actually, I'd have thrown them in the bin by now.
Get them off our stream.
No, I don't
in the bin they go.
The McWhirters didn't own Guinness. I think they would. I don't know. Does it matter?
We're trying to get you cancelled here, Ellie.
You're hanging propaganda on your walls, telling everyone about them, trying to make them to a bra. Unbelievable.
Say that. The logo. Yeah. No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I booted it up because there was more Muckington files to solve. Actually, Sean was the thing there. So I'm on the last Muckington files thing
Again,
before.
sounds like one of your specialist films.
I was going to say, yeah,
Muckington files.
Yeah, that's what they call their free DLC packs, Matt. Sorry.
The plumber has arrived to fix Lady Muckington's washing machine. That's what that sounds like.
That's in Power Sim 2. I'm looking forward to that one. Right, is that it for Trash Goblin?
Yeah, I don't normally like to talk about my Guinness World Records, but you did bring it up, so okay.
Yeah, had to.
We'll try not to bring it up again in the future. I'm still playing Mario Kart World. Still absolutely fucking obsessed with that game. I love it so much. I honestly, I love it so much. I think some of the arguments I've heard about how the courses are not as like if someone says, "What's your favourite course?" I'm like, I don't know really. But at the same time, I love the fact
I think that'll
that
come with time. There's so many of them though. Like.
Right now, I know, but like, I think I do understand the argument that you're not selecting Candy World, Dinosaur Land. Yeah. You're selecting Dinosaur Land to Candy World, and you may not see bits of Candy World because it's too long for a full thing like that. It's a bit confusing. But I love the fact that Charlie loves one fucking route, and he's obsessed with this one route between Peach's Castle and, I don't know, one of the others. And it just does it back and forth. He'll do one way, and then we're doing it back. So
one thing I did notice, and I'm not moaning, I don't think it's important.
It's always a good way to start.
It's not a moan, but...
It feels like something they could have added. So the time trials, you can only do a time trial of a circuit.
Right.
Whereas actually the reality of playing the game the rest of the time is that you're doing all these routes between the circuits. So there's no way to do it, or like there's no way to do a time trial for one of the knockout rallies or whatever. Which again, I'm not moaning. I'm not moaning.
Well,
but they could have.
Sounds like a gripe.
Probably could have.
You're griping.
It's a minor gripe. There you go. I'll give you that.
So I've been really positive about Nintendo. Mario Kart World is absolutely fantastic. The camera stuff is amazing still, and I love it. And I'm thinking about buying a camera. I will say, shut up. I will say
you can't really buy a camera after giving James and I jip for months now.
Jip?
Is that allowed to say? We're allowed to say jip.
I think you're allowed to say jip. I think that's all right.
You're giving us jip. You've been giving us jip for months, and now you're going to buy one.
But
why? Why?
If I
What's
do,
changed?
because I did it now,
what?
so it's better.
Is this how I should have handled the Lego Mario Party thing? Just gone shh.
Yeah, it always works.
It fucking works, man. It's a good tactic.
The camera stuff is great.
The Nintendo Switch Welcome Tour is one of the worst things Nintendo have ever done to me. I cannot quite wrap my head around how this is a thing that they charged £8 for.
I've got the opposite feeling.
Would you have interpreted it differently if it was free? Or would you still hate it?
I would not. I would go, okay, it's a free thing with the thing, fine. But even then, I'd go, fucking hell, Nintendo, put some effort in. Holy shit. Do you know what this is, Ellie?
I think, isn't it? I think I did read about this. I haven't got Switch, but isn't it?
I was going to say, sorry, we've not asked.
It's basically isn't it $7.99 or something? Did you pay that? Did you pay?
Yeah, I paid. I paid it. Yeah, I paid for that.
And it's just like an interactive model of the machine you've just fucking bought anyway.
Sort of, yeah. You
run
around on the
it's
machine.
Like a huge museum exhibit, basically, and you're a little guy running around on a massive...
Which is a bargain, $7.99.
Yeah.
I mean, museums are free, aren't they? So that's just an expensive museum. So.
Yeah, but the museums, you spend 25 quid in a cafe, though, Ellie. So
that's true.
Whereas this one, you can
bring your own sandwiches, mate. You fucking idiot. Bring your own sandwiches. They can't stop you. They can't stop you, man.
Yeah, no, but I want to support the museum in some way. So I'm like, I'll buy a £4 latte.
I fucking don't. I'll walk around a place going, this is all old shit. Can you have a donation? Fuck off.
Munching your own sandwiches.
You bought a can. I bet you bought one of those people who bought a can of gin and tonic in your handbag to my gig as well.
Definitely.
You're not supporting live comedy.
I cannot. Like Elliot, you've got to see what this game is.
I'm not paying $7.99.
Go on.
Watch a YouTube video. There's a bit in it where they go, right, you go up to a desk. There's a desk on the fucking Switch 2 for some reason. You go up to it and it goes, do you want to do a quiz about magnets? Yeah. Okay. Here's go on these, read these bits, and it goes, the magnets work because the magnet is within the machine. And it has a thin material in front of it which is 0.2 millimeters thick, and there are no magnets in the Joy-Con, but the buttons are made of steel, and that is how the magnet works. And you read that and go, right, and it goes, we're going to test you now. How thin is the material? And
Well, 'cause the
it goes
worst part
1
is,
millimeter,
you do
2
loads of it-
millimeters, 0.2 millimeters, or 5 millimeters.
But this is the thing,
And
like
you go
95
0.2, and it goes, yep.
But like 95% of the questions are like, it's so obvious what the answer is.
Yeah.
But the others are all clearly bollocks. Then
don't even
occasionally
read
it
them.
throws one at you like that. And I'm like, I don't know, was it 0.2? Was it 1 mil?
I mean, it was definitely 0.2. I mean,
it was
you read
0.2.
it 2
I
seconds
know
ago.
that now because I had to go back and redo the fucking quiz because I got it wrong.
Did you You haven't failed a quiz, have you?
failed a
Holy
quiz.
Hold on. So what's the animation when you fail a quiz? I'm not even taking the piss. What's the animation when you fail a quiz? Because all I've got is the top marks one.
It just says like failed, so close.
Try again. I failed one.
How?
Yeah. What is wrong with you?
Are you thick?
Do some research again.
They also have this cool little mini game that when you're walking around, you might find a lost item and you can give it to the lost and found desk.
Yep.
And so I did that. I found a lost item. I gave it to them. They went, thanks. And I went, okay.
Yeah.
So then I carried on walking around.
It's a good deed, Dave. You're not supposed to get a reward.
I carried on walking around, and there was another lost item, and I thought, all right, I'll pick that up. And then carried on walking around, and there was another lost item, and I went to pick that up, and he went, you're already holding a lost item. And I went, are you fucking kidding me? I've got to go back to the lost
That's
item
the thing,
desk,
it
hand that in
feels
to
so
go
far
pick
away,
this
doesn't it?
one
And you're
up.
just like, well, I'm just not going to do it then. I'm just not
That's it. I'm literally arguing with the guy. Well, I'm not going to do it then. Do you want to do a quiz? No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to do a
It
quiz,
sounds, no,
actually.
it sounds like they're off their tits. Absolutely awful.
Little bit.
Mental. Like, I cannot believe they actually bought this out and then they put a price tag on it. It's mental. Like, I can't work it out. It's so bad.
I don't mind it. I mean, me and Eddie were playing on the weekend. we were. I mean, obviously, yes, they would have been better if it was free. But Eddie and I were having a nice sort of time, wandering around doing the
I
quizzes.
don't hate it. I don't hate it at all.
Yeah, just.
Oh, you guys are fucking idiots. It is. It's outrageous.
It's a little quiz. It's like, charming little thing. I mean, yes, they probably should have charged, but
It's not
development
charming
costs.
at all. It's stale. It's awful. It just how is it charming?
I know,
Even
it's like-
bits-
I think that with the PS5, didn't you get some games room thing where you get all this?
Yeah,
fun
it was
shit
amazing,
and you
yeah.
absolutely play with it, and it was brilliant.
I mean, it's
Like,
not
I
on that
thought-
level
yeah.
for sure, but
I should
But
say,
Nintendo
so that we don't get
fucking-
shouted at in the feedback, Jack515 in the chat says you can fast travel, apparently.
I've not seen fast travel, but my
Yeah, as soon as
favourite
you-
bit
the
so
stamps, I
far
think,
is when you run around on the screen and it feels like you're skating. And I thought, oh, finally, a fun little bit to do. And then your character just falls over and it means that you can't use
Too
him
much,
for a little bit.
yeah, but it's a follow animation, isn't it? If you go too fast, I was doing that loads. I was like, I'm just going to bomb from one edge of the screen to the other. He falls over. Great, lovely.
I
job.
know, it's like doing it on your snowboard and breaking your wrist. I mean, were you getting flashbacks, man,
That's
when
not-
that was happening?
Let's
No,
not bring that
more
up,
than that
actually. I think it's a charming little thing. Like, I just think it's like a nice little. It's not a full game, obviously. It's a little museum. It's a bit of fun. Elodie and I are having a lovely old time with it.
What's
And
charming about it, Matt? What's
like-
charming about it?
I think the way it's laid out, the way it's, you see it's exploded
way
view
it's
of the
laid
machine,
out.
the music's okay. It's like doesn't offend me. It's like a nice little thing to play
There's a
around with.
bit where it's talking about, like, so if you have like frame rate drops, so about variable refresh rate. The screen just supports a variable refresh
Imagine
rate.
that! What
I
a
know.
great way to.
I'm not going to
Nintendo.
go into it because it's boring, but the explanation is, I'm pretty sure, is incorrect. Like, I'm pretty sure they've obviously they knew it was something they had to, like, it's a feature, we've got to talk about it, but it's for nerds, it's really boring, so we're just going to sort of fudge it and then move on. And then
Really? Well, what do they say that's?
I don't want
I mean,
to go into
I'm
it,
scared
'cause
for
it's
you,
so-
Sean,
it's
feedback-wise.
so dull.
They can't
It's
possibly have got it wrong,
so
surely.
boring.
Imagine Nintendo have brought out a game with a part of it that's so dull that we won't talk about it on this fucking podcast. And this is free. Like, this is you could download this for free. Like, honestly, it's so bad. The HDR thing. Have you done the HDR test yet?
Yes, that's
It's
quite
fucking hilarious. You press.
Yes,
there's
there's no difference.
scenes of fireworks, and it says you can pause it, and there are fireworks everywhere. It goes, now press this button, and it will turn HDR on. So you press it, you don't notice a difference
Bit
at
brighter.
all. Yeah, there's
Wow. Although, I mean, again, speaking of fireworks, I'm pretty sure, didn't Sony charge like 25 quid for Fantavision? That was a stretch.
Yes,
That was a stretch.
Yeah, no, that is fair enough. Maybe that was a nod. Then they demonstrate 4K by just making Mario really small.
Yeah, that was weird because all I meant had to do is we had to get quite close to the TV.
New clothes. This is a fucking test. This is an absolute test. Fucking John really Nintendo is sitting there, Kyoto, go, right, Steve, fuck. What are we going to do? Listen, we're already charging these pricks 400 fucking quid for what is basically a large mobile phone. How can we get another £8 out of them? We're doing a museum, John. All right, brilliant, fucking brilliant. What's going to be in the museum? The thing they've just bought. Fucking brilliant. Right on the whiteboard.
Sorry, Ellie, why is the head of Nintendo talking to a Digimon? That's what I was confused about. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, I mean, yes, it should have been free or whatever, but it doesn't offend me. It's a fine little thing. I mean,
It's not a fine little thing.
Are neither of you going to bother 100%? Yeah, okay, yeah.
No, I went down into the Joy-Con. I did all the bits on the Joy-Con. Then I went into the Joy-Con, saw 4 desks with quiz written above it, and went, "Fuck this! I'm out." Dreadful waste of time.
One thing I really don't like about this is when you read in the information boards to swat up for the quiz. Is like it makes you stop on each frame for like a certain amount of time. It's like, no, we need to show you this video of the Joy-Con going click. No, I've read the thing, just skip it.
Do you know what I find funny is that there's a different amount of information boards before the quiz for whatever they're talking about, yes. And it's like some of them. It's so funny because it'll be like the magnets. There are 3 information boards. The screen. There are 8 information boards. The stand. There was 1.
Yeah.
You went on
it.
It's a U shape and it's made from carbon.
Yeah.
You think the person at the desk would just be like, "I'll just tell you." You don't have to go over there.
Yeah. I mean, have you done health and safety courses where they just go, look, you don't need to do the answers, but just sign here and I'll say you've done it. It feels like most of those things should be that.
Listen, I feel sorry for the copywriter who had to write the fucking text for this game because I used to write the manuals for Sony and the copy, and I used to have to write adverts for like the PS2 stand. Which was just, do you remember it? It was just a piece of like blue plastic. You didn't need it. It was just a piece of shit to make people spend more money, almost like making a little stupid app thing that cost $7.99 in the hope that someone would just buy it. And like, what could you think of a funny, witty tagline for a piece of blue plastic that you put your machine that can stand up anyway on? There is no funny tagline, or how do I make you buy that?
Something about outstanding. I don't know, last stand.
Oh, see, there you go. You've done it, yeah. Outstanding.
Ellie, it's not just quizzes. I mentioned this last week. It's not just quizzes. It's also mini games. And one of the mini games is, your stand. Yep. Set it to 24 degrees. And you do it, and it goes, you set it to 27 degrees.
You idiot.
I did like the one, Jane. I like the one I mentioned last week about where you try and work out
Take
where.
it for an absolute fool.
No, there's a really good one, Ellie, where you have to work out where the HD rumble is strongest on a big grid, not just vertically and horizontally. And I thought that was quite fun. So, where is it?
Did you? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we are two very different people.
0.2. I was so bloody close to one of them. I was like. I really am an epic gamer.
You really are the top 1% of the top 1%.
Yeah,
well done.
You're
off to Miramar.
Yeah,
don't
it's great.
Buy that game.
I probably couldn't recommend it. I mean, having still enjoyed it, I'm like.
Oh, but you said it was great. It had great. What did you say? It was really cute.
It was charming.
Charming. It was not charming.
Obviously, there's not a lot to play on your Switch, but I wouldn't be like you've got to rush out and get the welcome tour. It wouldn't have even needed to do much to even get to that level, I don't think. But
the tagline for it should have just been "Welcome tour. What else are you going to play?"
Well, yeah, that's it. Like they know that it's a really bare lineup. So this is an easy £8 on top of every other game.
Maybe I reckon they've shelved loads of complete games because they're like, look. No, if we bring out the new Zelda with this console, no one's going to buy the welcome tour. So. Yeah,
they delayed Zelda on purpose. They cancelled Zelda on purpose.
No, I think they think the other way. I think it's the other way. Let's not bring Metroid into it because everyone's going to be playing Welcome Tour. It's going to completely ruin Metroid. So fuck that. I don't want to clash with our own stuff. Okay, right. So that's that. There is one more game in front of me. Absolum.
Absolum. I don't know if it's Absolum. This was just a Steam Next Fest game. As usual, I wanted to play loads of Steam Next Fest demos. I got hooked on the altars instead. So this is all your game. And I know, like last week, I talked about Baby Steps and Ball Pit and stuff. They were great. Just Absolum is another one to watch. It's basically Hades meets Golden Axe. So it's like a run-based sort of fantasy game, but it's like a side-on brawler. Picking up new skills as you go, beautiful animation, really good combat system. I fucking love the demo, so keep an eye out for that.
Cool. Yeah, so Next Fest ended today, or wasn't it? Or
I think it's sort of technically over, and now there's like here's the most played demos bit, which is nice. But yeah.
Well, the next one will be out on Friday probably.
Oh, yeah,
they feel pretty regular.
Every few weeks they do one, so.
Okay, is that everything? Ellie, you've not played anything this week? Nothing you want to talk about?
Nothing new. I'm streaming Assassin's Creed Shadows still because they're just so big, those games, and it's not. Yeah, it's fun. It's good. It's good. I mean, it's. I don't know. I know you lot aren't big Assassin's Creed, and they are amazing achievements. They're so beautiful and huge, and I love being in that world. And also all the fucking admin does my head in. So it's like but I know that's the kind of gamer I am. I don't really want to have to choose between 8 different swords every 5 minutes and do some menu screens. I just want it to go, that's the best sword, and give me that sword. So I actually some ways I prefer, because I know you were talking about you didn't play that one you can't pronounce, that Japanese one, Goats of Satsuma. But
yeah, Goats of Satsuma.
I prefer that one.
Tsushima?
Is that right? Tsushima, yeah.
Goats of Satsuma.
I got there.
In some ways, I prefer that because although it doesn't look as impressive and it's a lot more linear, at least you're in that world, which I love, and it just gives you the best fucking sword. Or at least I can't remember now. But and also there are quite a lot of naked men's bums in it, and I've yet to see a naked man's bum in Assassin's Creed Shadow, and I do object. I mean,
would that be an issue with Twitch's terms of service? Would they be like you got to quickly blur out if you see a bottom,
concealed, or is it full?
I think
if you see up the anus, I think that's an issue.
Oh, I've tried to do that. So because I spent quite a lot of time.
I meant on stream.
on the stream, going around just looking for, because you see the naked men's bums in Tsushima when you go in a little spa hot tub
That's right.
thing.
Yeah.
So when we finished the game, we spent a whole stream, I think, going around drunk trying to look at men's arseholes.
I mean, that's got to be a Guinness World Record, surely. 24 hours looking up men's arseholes.
I'll tell you now, Matt, that is not a fucking world record. 24 hours, no way.
Okay.
It became known as bum shandy. So now that has passed into the phrase bum shandy has passed into my stream. But that was inspired as well by many years ago. Ubisoft used to have this really shit event called Ubi Days in Paris. You remember? Yeah, and they used to fly you out there. And then I remember one year we went, and I think it was the same year, they ran out of beer about an hour in, which obviously massively pissed off all the journalists.
Yeah.
And they were announcing some Rayman Raving Rabbids thing. And to do this, they had got actual rabbits. And they were putting them on the stage. But obviously rabbits have got no fucking interest in Uber Days or being put on the stage by E. Gilbert.
Yeah, but famously, they're more an EA Play kind of animal, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. So, you just would see a hand come out of the scenery and push this poor rabbit who would then literally... The rabbits were literally shitting themselves all over the stage. So it was hilarious. And then we found some more alcohol. And then for some reason, they let us have the run of the Louvre. So,
I thought you were going to say they let us have a rabbit.
No. No, they let us into the fucking Louvre, after dark. And, all these games journalists from all over Europe. And we were all battered. So, I just remember running around with Mike Channel from Outside Xbox Now. And just running around. And we decided, how can you do the Louvre justice when you're drunk at a Ubisoft event? Yeah. Well, obviously, you just go around looking for as many naked bums as you can find and willies. So, we just ran round and round going, there's one over here! There's a willy over here! And I think that is what all those artists would have wanted.
Yes. I think that's where the whole, hang it in the Louvre, I think that's kind of where that saying probably came from.
Exactly.
Talk about willies, yeah.
I think we've just been given the answer, but do you ever, in Assassin's Creed, do you ever do this sort of history tour stuff? Because I find that really interesting, but I don't want to buy the whole game just to do that.
the problem is the Assassin's Creed games are so long. Like I finished just the story mode of Valhalla, trying to do as little side missions as possible because I'm gonna die one day. I don't have time for this.
No, if you're streaming these games, I mean, that's a year, is it, or something crazy?
Well, in those days it was lockdown, right? That's when I started streaming.
Oh, yeah.
So with Valhalla, I was streaming like to begin with. I was starting like 3 times a week, and now because of my job, I just can't do that anymore. So it took a long time, and I did. It took me 97 hours in the end just to do the basic story, which and so now it's a bit like, oh, can I be fucked? But now I'm on tour a lot as well, so I can't play it as much. So I played Balatro on tour quite a lot, which I'm a late comer to, but which I'm totally into.
It's fucking great. Game of the year.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
You playing on your phone or a dedicated console?
I have got one of those wanker phones. I've got like a Samsung flip phone.
A fold?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
nice.
the word. A fold.
Yeah, the Z Fold, whatever, yeah.
So what I like to do as well, because like I quite like to multitask. I like to, because I love Balatro as well, because it's one of those games you sort of can half pay attention to, can't you? Or pay attention to something else briefly while you're doing it. So I like to play Balatro on the bottom half of the screen, and on the top I watch Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Oh my God.
It's a TV show you can only half pay attention.
That's how the designer said it should be played.
Yeah, that's what they would have wanted.
It's absolutely amazing. I just absolutely love it. So if there's like a really good bit, like, you know, oh, she's putting the pregnancy test in a cake or whatever, which is a real thing that happens with a baby reveal, then quickly I better just concentrate. Or do I need this plus 15 my gross Michelle's gone, but anyway, they're having a swingers party. It's really good.
Did they wipe the pregnancy test down first?
Well, so literally, this woman puts this pregnancy.
That was, by the way, it's the spoilers for Mormon wives, everyone.
She goes for dinner with her family. I won't tell you which Mormon wife it is, but one of them, she goes for dinner with her family, and like they're all sitting around. She's like, "Here's the cake, Mum. Why don't you cut the cake?" And the mum cuts it, and she goes, "Oh, there's something in the cake." And then she goes, "Have a look, Mum." And she pulls out a fucking pregnancy test. And one of the other guests is like, "Is that the one you weed on?" She's like, yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm good for cake, actually.
I
don't really fancy cake in a way today because you piss on it.
But I highly recommend it, and it's they sort of divide up into quite quickly to 2 groups. There's one group who are like quite into Jesus Christ and not drinking hot drinks and things, and the other half are, for want of a better word, slags. And it's quite good to just, and I say that, you know, game recognises game, right? And
as someone who loves hot drinks.
As it were. Big into coffee, and they call themselves the sinners, these women, and it's absolutely fascinating. And I think that's what the listeners of this video games podcast want to hear about. So that's what. I'm
interested now.
I'll be watching it.
It's amazing. It's on Disney Plus. Unbelievable. It is. It's on fucking Disney Plus. So good.
And that was Ellie's review of Balatro, the hard roguelike game available now to purchase.
What's their beef with hot drinks?
Without going to, Mormonism is quite, I don't want to say straight, I don't want to mock someone's religion, but it's quite, it has quite a particular set of rules.
The feedback's going to be insane.
Is no hot drinks.
Oh,
I don't really know why, but because this guy Brigham Young, he did sort of invent this religion and made up like some of this stuff, and it's so that soda bars are a massive thing in Utah. You go to these because no alcohol as well, obviously. So you go and you just have like all these wacky soda cocktails, which I'm.
What's really sad?
I think I might become a Mormon wife.
I was going to say, I feel like I'd fit right in, to be honest.
But one of the slaggy ones. Yeah.
I need to watch that show, 100%. That's what we've been playing. Mormon Wives. Can you put that down in the show notes?
We can't call the episode title Mormon Wives.
Can we not?
How
help.
about slags?
How about slaggy tea drinkers? I mean, so you can either be a slag or drink a tea. That's this. Is that it?
One or t'other.
I mean, it's I didn't make this up. I don't.
Oh, you know what? I was going to convert Ellie, and now I'm thinking I like it too much, and I won't tell you which one of those I like, but I like it too much. Tea.
Okay. Should we get to a few questions from our listeners and then wrap this one up?
Yeah. If you want to send us a question, go to tcgs.co/dear-tcgs. Kurt Lewin says a situation has transpired whereby going forward you're only allowed to play.
He always starts his emails.
That's how the last one started. Okay, good.
You're only allowed to play games with a prefix name of a real person, and you have to choose just one person. So examples would be Sid Meier, e.g. Pirates, Colin McRae, Tom Clancy, e.g. The Division, Ghost Recon, Clive Barker, Jericho, and any others you can think of. I think that's all of them. The only condition is that the person's name is the prefix of the game's full title. It includes all past and future games. Also, as a bonus question, which person do you think has sold the most games in total? It's probably Tom Clancy, right?
Well, Tony Hawk. Sure.
I read that wrong. I thought out of us four. Like,
no.
Well, I did do a stint in CEX, so it's probably me.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's either it might be Sid Meier. It
Could
might
be
Sid
between Meier and Clancy, right?
I think Tony's got to be up there. That was
Big
massive, that game. Big Tones. And it's not even finished yet. The new one's out. I can't fucking wait. But it's Jimmy White's Whirlwind Suzuka, isn't it? That's the answer to this question.
That was a good one.
Jimmy
I was
White.
going to say, because there's Archer McLean as well, because he did that snooker game. But then was it snooker or pool? I can't remember. He also did a load of other games, but I think the snooker was the only one he put his name on. Because like he did IK Plus, but that wasn't Archer McLean's IK Plus. That was just IK Plus. So I think that doesn't count.
Of course, yeah. Of course, it could be the creators as well, not just the time. So it could be Dino Dini's. What is it?
Digimon.
Dino Dini's.
Ellie, how many times are we going to...
I think there's just not enough Digimon on this podcast.
Graham Souness's Vector Soccer. That was an actual game that I played too much of because it's all I had as a kid on my Atari STE. How about you, Matt? What's that there for you?
Tony Hawk? Tony Hawk's Pro Skater? That's something I had.
You didn't I'll go for a funny answer, go for a serious one. Did you?
Well, we're not talking about sales now. We're just talking about which one we want. Or we're talking about
which
most...
one you want, yeah.
Dr. Carol brain training. Brain training, there you go.
I did some extensive research for this, by which I meant I Googled one of my own articles from about 15 years ago. Because I remember writing, because Eurogamer once asked me to review a Kardashian game, and I love a bit of, absolute dog shit, as clearly evidenced by my love of Mormon wives. But even that, I couldn't be bothered to do it. So I could say, can I just write about other celebrity games? So anyway, but then I couldn't choose between, so these are all Spectrum games, right? And I want you three to choose which one. You can only have one of these, okay? You can have the Shaky game, which is where Shakin' Stevens... These are all real games. Shakin' Stevens has to defeat vampires. And if you... I'm not making this up. You have to go around collecting fuel for Shakin' Stevens' car, right? And then if you lose, you get... I swear to God, the
this
game
is based on a true
screen,
story, isn't it?
This is a real thing. If there's a game over screen that says, "Oh dear, a bat bit you," that is the game over screen. That's amazing. Or you can have Paul McCartney's... Again, I'm not making this up for comic effect. You can Google the article and see screenshots. Paul McCartney's Give My Regards to Broad Street, which is just him going round on the tube trying to meet other members of the Beatles.
Well, Paul McCartney's trying to meet other members of the Beatles.
Yeah. And then...
I need to talk to Ian about that to see if he's playing. I'm going to text Ian Lee to ask him. You know the massive Beatles.
Yeah, that sounds like an Ian Lee stream.
I need to... What's it called
Tell him
again?
I sent you. He'll know. Paul McCartney's Give My Regards to Broad Street. If you Google Ellie Gibson Kardashian or something, along many other things.
Yeah. So much
Lots of Licky Nike. That'll come up. But and then I'm sure none of you have heard of this, but Samantha Fox strip poker.
Oh yeah.
Oh no! Who even is that?
Something just bashed Matt's microphone. What was that?
That was hands on. I can see him
off camera.
I promise that was my hand.
So if you remember, she starts off with she's dressed at the Invisible Man at a fancy dress party with a hat and sunglasses and a scarf, and then you have to take all the
I wouldn't remember actually.
That sounds horrible. But what was it called again? Just so I know to avoid it. Just so I.
No one wants to look it up.
Yeah, I don't want to. But I
it's Samantha Fox's Sexual Exploitation Poker. That's the one.
Okay.
And then one for your younger viewers. Benny Hill's Madcap Chase. You know this one? There was a fucking Benny Hill game, I shit you not. And in this game, the object of the game is to steal a bra off a washing line.
They don't make games like that anymore, do they?
It's not clear what then Benny Hill does with the bra, but that is the game. And it got 83% for playability in Crash. But
Wow,
it got
holy shit.
84% for graphics.
Oh, wow.
1% more for graphics. So
I need to listen to the soundtrack. I bet the soundtrack is fucking incredible.
Sure, it isn't just like one song.
I still maintain, and look this up, the best OST from a retro game is the LOLO video game. Listen to the music from the LOLO video game from the Spectrum. It's fucking amazing. Like, it's properly banging.
I got confused because I was like, what the fuck is LOLO? And then I was like,
I was a bit,
Yeah, I thought that first.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, sorry. Yeah.
He doesn't know French, sorry.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm working on my French. It's not as good as it used to be. Well, which one would you choose out of those, Matt?
I mean, if I could play one game, I'd choose Tony Hawk, isn't it?
Well, it's not
No,
one game,
out of the
it's
ones
one
that Ellie
person.
said, you've just ignored the past 5 minutes.
Oh,
Out of the Shaky Game, Paul McCartney's
out
With
them.
My Regards to Broad Street, Sam Fox's Objectification Poker, or Benny Hill's Madcap Bra Theft.
yeah, I don't want to, but I feel like I'll just, to protect other people, I'll go for the Sam Fox one, and just so I can
Thanks, Matt,
say...
because I was going to choose that. For the
Yeah,
same
just say, I'll
reason.
do it, you don't have to, and just make sure it's all above board, and then we'll...
I know you're big poker fans. You are big poker fans.
Yeah, I love them.
that's-
Love that as well, yeah.
Absolutely. It's basically like having Balatro, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sean, what are you going with then?
It's got to be Sid Meier, hasn't it? Like, because I really like Sid.
Oh, we're
Sid-
just all ignoring Ellie's little game
It's
here.
fine. It's a stupid game because I forgot Sam Fox was in there.
Sorry,
and
Ellie.
obviously we'll just pick that.
Right,
yeah,
sorry.
no,
Ellie's game, Benny Hill, without a
Yeah,
doubt.
it's fine. Go fuck yourself. Don't worry about it.
no, you fucking ruined the game.
4% for playability.
Try and
You can't-
introduce a little bit of dramatic tension. A little
I'm
bit
so
of a fun,
sorry.
You know,
It's
it's
gotta be Sid Meier, I think.
Sid, exactly.
Head
Sid
says
Meier's
Sid
strip
Meier,
poker.
heart says
Sid
Benny Hill.
Meier's-
Right.
I want to play Sid Meier's strip poker. That's my pick.
Hello.
Is he a handsome fellow? I've never seen
I
him.
met him.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
Well, it must have left an impression if you want to play a strip poker
Yeah,
version.
it sounds like
his-
turned you down, Ellie.
with
is
his
what it
bottom
sounds
out,
like.
I'm just going for a certain stage of the perimenopause. I play a game with basically anyone taking their clothes off. You've heard me talk about bum shandies, for God's sake. I mean,
Yeah.
this is it. This is where we are. But I tell you what, I did have when I wrote this article, and I remember I tweeted Shakin' Stevens to say, what did he think of his own video game? And I think he replied, and he gave his own game 7 out of 10, and then saying he didn't own a Spectrum, but he did play it. But then, as I remember, it got a bit weird. Like, he started getting a bit flirty, and I was like, "Am I flirting with Shakin' Stevens
no.
on Twitter? This has got a bit strange," and I had to just sort of row back. Yeah. But it was an exciting
Row
day.
back? Row forward? Shaking fucking Stevens, what are you doing?
I mean, he is the Welsh Elvis after all. But
If you were on the altars, you would definitely see what that timeline looked like.
Wow.
Row back, just to see
Wow.
what happened. Would you still be a
We'd
Guinness
have little
World
kids
Record?
called Stevens after the Digimon character.
I think it's probably time to move on to the next question, isn't
The
it?
next question comes from Hugh G. Knacker.
Oh, my favourite of the knackers.
Hang on.
It says, hi chaps, I know you said before that you weren't looking for sponsors for TCGS, but what about the individual hosts? Is there an enterprising cheese company looking to leverage James's clout as an influencer? Would Sean turn up to the Twitch streams with a full set of Soundpeats branded clothes? I'm assuming David has too much integrity to go for the sponsored life.
You assume wrong. I would sell myself. I'm at that age where I'd sell myself for anything, I think. Like the punk bands we all loved. Yeah, I'd put me in a butter commercial. Let's have it. Watches. I would like to be sponsored by a watch company.
I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, visual
like
gag.
that.
Sorry, podcast listeners.
Sean had his top off. Is
Yeah.
what he did there. You missed it.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I would say, I'd set out 100%. Why wouldn't you set out?
You're the one who's like, when we did that one ad, I'm doing the fingers, campaign.
Yeah.
And then you were like, no, we're never doing that again.
Oh, yeah, because that was embarrassing. But me wearing a big sparkly watch on sell me out. Give me that.
It's not the wearing of the watch. It's all the kind of social, all the photo shoots, the this and that is that's the
that
aspect.
bit I don't
We can all wear a
was
watch.
kindly sent to me by. I mean, to be fair, I did that with the with Trash Goblin earlier, so maybe I haven't got.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you sold yourself out for Trash Goblin, didn't you?
Yep, big time.
Well, it'd be like if I was to wear these really high quality Mass Effect jogging bottoms from Instant Coin on someone else's podcast.
Yeah, that would be.
Are they
They're
genuine
really good quality
N7
material.
trousers?
They are. Hang on, they've got a
Worn
little.
by
they've
Commander
got-
Shepherd.
They've got
Very
an N7
nice.
on them somewhere.
Oh,
Look,
yeah,
there you go.
Right
It's
on
all
the
got a bit
arse.
OnlyFans. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
uh,
Twitch is shutting us down now for that.
yeah,
Okay, thanks.
We had a good run, lads.
Can't believe that's why we went out.
Apologise for Matt. He wasn't in that war. He didn't live that war like
that's
myself
true.
and Sean
Oh
did.
god! Oh no, I didn't play a little video game.
It's more than a video
trilogy.
game.
3 games.
It,
so that's
it was a
embarrassing,
tragedy,
isn't it?
actually. It was a tragedy.
Sounds
What
embarrassing,
happened.
mate.
Earth died. The whole of London
Earth
blew
died.
up. Except
Oh, not Earth
Why
dying.
not? We were there on the ground.
the whole of London blew up except for one red telephone box, which conveniently set the scene from what city you were in. What a war that was. One of my favourites.
I would. I'll be sponsored by anything really. I thought
Yeah, of course you.
a lot about. We get a lot of these emails from I think it's Stream Elements or some streaming provider saying
yeah.
you're missing out on a $6,000 sponsorship opportunity with HelloFresh. I'm like, or actually, it's not that because that's really legitimate. It's like, why don't you play this really terrible Star Trek mobile game, and for every download you get that? I'm like, maybe I'll just stream a series where I just play the sponsored games. I'm just sponsored. I'm like, please, we need 100 downloads, please. I'm
Because what
dying
always
here.
makes me laugh with that is there's like a quote from a streamer, and I won't say, I can't remember who it is, but it's just so obviously it's like I really enjoyed playing this sponsored game, and my audience enjoyed it as well, and also I was able to earn an income from it, which was great.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the overlap where Gary Neville's going, and who's your favourite footballer? Hold on one sec. I really like Huel. My favourite flavour of Huel is cabbage flavoured Huel. Available now using my code Gary Neville loves Huel. And do you remember when we were asked by Manscaped?
Yes.
If we want to sponsor them. And then I just listened to every other
Yeah,
gaming
everyone did,
podcast, and it was sweaty nerds like us. I'm not having a go at them,
It's warm out,
but
David.
going-
I mean, it's not my fault.
Going, hey guys, do you like? I don't like it when I nick my balls. So Manscaped have created a new, which I use, and I'm like, I don't want to fucking hear this.
I mean,
I don't want this to ever be associated
I mean, I might
with
get in contact. That
Manscaped
sounds good.
ever.
Sounds good.
But
I'm like,
can I make a suggestion? Take it or leave it. If you are going to start shaving your downstairs down there, don't shave the whole thing off, because as Helen says, it looks like a face without eyebrows. Honestly. Leave a bit. Leave a bit.
okay. But what if I draw the eyebrows on?
I just imagine all our listeners getting a notepad out now and a pencil and go, right, leave a bit. Fine,
no.
thank you.
Draw
Leave a bit. Or it's like a
eyebrows.
dolphin's nose.
That's why I'm single. Okay, let's move on.
Warner says, with the classic in the beginning being the staple of James's common statements, have you also noticed that what it is, and that's not true, are also classic go-to sayings from the news goblin himself? What other go-to lines does the rest of the group have?
Oh God, we've
I think
done this
it's
before.
what it is. I
Vocal
used to say it
tics.
loads.
Yeah, you used to say it was.
Yeah.
The other one,
that in.
and not to single James out, the other one he has is whenever we have a go at him about something, he always says, "You don't understand."
Yeah,
That's always-
yeah. No, mine is various different. I always say various different, and whenever I listen back to our pod, I'm like, "You shut the fuck up, just for 1 fucking second, you idiot."
I mean, we all know this. I say like too much,
You do say like
and
too
I'm
much.
so
Yeah, but
like
what can you
sorry
do?
about that. But
What can you do? Have you got any vocal tics, Ellie? Have you picked up on any of them?
So about the Guinness World Records, or
Yes, that's right. It's just consolation. No, I was trying to think of things like Helen and I say. We do say quite a lot. Don't yuck someone's yum.
yeah.
oh yeah, I said that on the pod a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
Or on a similar theme, there's a lid for every pot. When we're bitching about people who we don't really think should be in a relationship, or whatever, or someone who's so weird, we're just like, what the fuck? Well,
Can I say one of my favourite jokes and one from your show that me and Joe still mention to each other is when you go onto someone's social media and they say, I can't believe Sally is now 8. And you say, well, I can because you say that every fucking year.
She's literally aged in front of your eyes. She's not Doctor Who. She doesn't fucking regenerate every 4 years. That's not how that works. Exactly.
Okay, let's do the last question.
Yeah. Maria Mendieta says, Dear TCGS Goemon, I'm still recovering from last week's overdose of game announcements and Switch 2 commentaries. My mellow mood leads me to ask a more contemplative question. Having been in the industry long enough to have Terry Kavanagh as a listener, I don't think he's a listener. I think he's
just
he's a nice guy. And the venerable Ellie Gibson as a guest co-host. What do you think stands between you and hosting the BAFTA Games Awards?
Fuck.
Keep up the magnificent
See,
work.
I was genuinely thinking about this during Soccer Age yesterday. How many people would have to say no before we get asked, right? And it's
hundreds.
It's like thousands and thousands, right? Hundreds of thousands of people.
I mean, we know for a fact that BAFTA don't take us particularly seriously.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh my God. Can we talk about that?
I think we have done, didn't we?
Yeah, we have done.
What, on the main show, not the bonus show?
Yeah, I think so.
What happened?
Fucking hell.
So, well,
BAFTA got in touch with us and we all got excited.
Yeah, we thought we were
they
going to
sent
win
us
an
this
award.
email and they were like,
Best drama.
Was it when the awards were on? They were like, oh, we'd love you to be part of the conversation or something.
Yeah, please, are you interested in working with us? We'd love you to be part of the conversation. BAFTA Game Awards are coming up. We love the show.
Yeah.
Blah, blah,
And
blah,
obviously
blah.
we weren't like, oh, they must want us to host. Like,
No, but it was like, if we
what
get
does
to go
this
to the
mean?
BAFTAs,
This is
this is
exciting.
huge, right?
Yeah, I said anything we can do. We'd love to work with you. Like, let us know what we can do together. It'd be really exciting.
Basically, it turns out what it meant was they just wanted us to like tweet about it when the nominees went up.
Yeah.
Be part of the conversation.
Yeah, big time.
Well, yeah, but you know, that's just
a
the
start.
opening salvo. That's it.
Yeah, maybe we should have said yes to that. We could have been
You
hosted
sound
if we
like
said
you
yes to
worked
that.
out in the first second of us talking about it.
It felt a bit like when the Labour Party sends you an email saying, like, we need your help to like win the election. You're not going to Downing Street. They just want you to put a leaflet through someone's letterbox.
Yeah, but our inflated egos thought this is our break. This is our big break. The BAFTA.
And yet we said
Are
no.
we getting a BAFTA? We're getting a BAFTA. Sean, I think we might be getting a BAFTA.
I think they're going to put us in charge of BAFTA.
They're going to remodel the mask on your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, holy shit.
No, I did get to present an award at the BAFTAs last year.
Oh, amazing.
Which was amazing. It was really exciting, and I got to present the for sound design, I think it was, and it was really great. And I really loved being in the green room. And I met the voice, Shelley, the voice of the original Lara, who is just my hero.
Oh yeah,
And I
she's
really
amazing.
got
Yeah,
her.
she's been on Ian's show.
She is
So
wicked.
can I ask you? Right. So
yeah.
you get there.
Yeah.
Do you walk the red carpet and stuff? Do you do all that bit?
I can't remember now. I think you do.
You're so
but obviously no one
Hollywood.
gives
Did
a
I do
shit
red
about you.
carpet with BAFTA? Maybe not.
Well, no, because very occasionally I get to go to like movie premieres, only if things like Shazam 3, like don't get excited. But like it's really walking the red carpet at those is really awful if you're not actually famous, because you have to walk down and watch all these people and all these paparazzi go, oh no, and just
It happened to me. I was invited to it, but I went with Blake to the In-Betweeners 2 premiere, right, in London. And we walked the red carpet and everyone looked disappointed, right? And that was fine. It was fun. And then I don't know if it happens to you as well. The bouncers are really horrible. They're like, move on.
Right,
like,
yeah, no,
right,
exactly.
mate, I'm just enjoying it for 5 seconds.
Did they get to a bit where, like, you know, when they take the photos and Blake had to be like, Dave, can you just stand?
Yeah, just
go
have
over
a
there
shot.
No, actually, in fairness, Blake was like dragging me into photos, so that was cool. I like that. But the best
no, we
bit
did
was
the
going...
Minecraft one, and they were pushing my kids. Like my kids were like, "Where's Jack Black?" And they were like, "No, like fucking move on." And I was like, "I can fucking pass for Jack Black in the right light. I haven't. You know, if I hadn't shaved that morning, I absolutely could have got away with it."
But were you in the screening? Because the one thing that I learned when I went to them is that all the famous people go into one screen and everyone else goes into another, and then they hold the famous people back to clear out the fucking cinema. So thankfully I was in the famous people screening, thank you. But like, yeah, there was loads of people that were just like ushered in. So you know when you win tickets to a premiere, you're not winning tickets to go and sit. You go into a little room next to where everyone's watching it. Do you go into the main room or did you go into the side room?
Oh, always like the side room. I think it was Shazam. Do you mean at the movie premieres? Yeah, I'm never in like this. Like you said, they have multiple screens, and I'm always in the one with the other not really famous people. But then they wheel the famous people in. Have you not had that? They bring in Jason Momoa and Jack Black and all that, and then they fuck off. I don't even know if they do go and sit in the other cinema. To be honest, I think they probably just go.
No, they do. Well, they did with the Inbetweeners one. But then the funny thing is that afterwards we went to the after show thing. And I got in a cab with Blake's, like our mate from school and Blake's brother and his girlfriend and me, and I think that was it. And we turned up to the after party, and a huge amount of paparazzi around the thing. And literally, it was so funny. We opened the door slowly, and the cameras are going nuts. We walked out, and it was literally like a sitcom, like an American. Like that. It was like a community. It was that all at once. It was fucking hilarious. I just went, thanks, guys. Thanks for coming out. Into the night.
So it's going to be on Getty Images, or where do I find this?
Yeah, that is a whole weird experience.
Giving the award was cool because you do get to hang out in the green room, and like John Carmack was there and Brenda Romero and like cool like games people as well as like cool famous people, and that was really fun. And then I had to go and give my award, and I'm reading out the nominations, which again you don't like really know whatever. I think maybe we did, but anyway, one of the nominees was for the Alan Wake, and I gave the original Alan Wake 7 out of 10 on Eurogamer.
Oh no!
And now I maintain I was on the right side of history.
I was going to say the original. I thought that was about right. I thought it was.
Thank you. The Guardian's Kessa MacDonald. That's what she said to me. She said you're on the right side of history. But at the time, I took an awful lot of shit for it, and part of that shit was because I said that the sound effects in the game were really bad, and that when you were driving. Might have said that driving the lorry in the game, it sounded like a bear having a wank. So, not only had I slagged off the original Alan Wake, and they were furious about it, I'd actually slagged off the sound design in the original Alan Wake. And then I'm reading out these fucking nominees going, oh, fuck me. And I can see the Alan Wake team sitting at the front.
With knives, sharpening knives.
Yeah.
And I was like, just crossing my fingers that they didn't make the connection. They didn't remember that it was me who gave. But then, of course, I had to say, and the winner is Alan Wake.
They've really improved in the last few years.
And the team are like, yeah. And I was like, oh, do I say to... He won't know who I am. He won't remember. Do I say to him that I said, in the other game it sounded like a bear having wank? No, just don't mention it. Just move on. And then I had to go you have to go and have a photo with them. And it was all slightly excruciating, but probably only for me. I'm sure they didn't give a shit. They'd won a BAFTA. So, yeah. But, I might never do that again.
But what you're saying is, Ellie, you can get us in to host next year.
That's right. That's exactly
nice. You know someone, we know you, ergo,
No, you will need to pose. You'll have to pose as my security entourage. So
oh
you'll
God,
have to come
we'll do that. Security
earpieces.
guys.
Yeah.
And be like, which is like what our roadie Steve Hills does sometimes when we go to a curry house. He just for a laugh, he pretends he's in MI5 and it will be like clear, and get his jacket and like protect us going in to the rush.
We can do that. We can do that for sure.
Yeah, I'll bulk
up. I've got a shaved head. I'm halfway there.
I'm built like a brick shithouse. Don't look at me on YouTube if you're listening. I am built.
I still think one year we should do my idea of like just doing a live stream, but like 20 meters up the road from where the red carpet
just outside,
is. Just collaring people we know and just be like, hey, do you want to just chat on camera for a minute?
Oh, yeah.
You're going. All right, see you later.
I'd be up for that. Let's set up in a pub down the road and I'll just picture moan the whole time about how I've never been asked back to present another award.
Just put a big thing as like, here's the real party, guys. Come in.
Or if you get to host again, like I leave after party, I'd love to go to the after party, but I've got actually a prior engagement at the King's Head, so I'm going to go.
What? Why not? What? Hold on. Why don't we set up a losers party? If you don't win a BAFTA, come here. We'll have more people here than they would in BAFTA.
That's true. They're missing a trick there, aren't they?
But they'll have a fancy after party. Will be.
I mean, it will be depressing as fuck in there.
We'll be
Everyone's sitting in an all bar one crying.
Yeah. No,
Two
I think you're
cocktails
right.
though, so can't complain.
I think just do your own BAFTA party, but yeah, the BAFTA stands for beer and fucking tabs party. And everyone's
Yes.
just like,
Yeah.
Okay,
everyone's
we'll
just
do
like,
it.
I'm in.
Right. What a way to end it. Thanks for your messages. Let's get to the socials, Matt.
Yes, if you want to watch us stream this show every week, or when we do a gaming stream, you can go to twitch.tv/TCGSco. If you have Amazon Prime or Twitch account, connect your account, you get something called Twitch Prime Gaming, and they give you a free sub to any channel you want every month. So why not go to our channel once your accounts are connected and give us your free sub. We really appreciate those that do. We're on YouTube. You can watch this podcast and our streams as well. Go to YouTube/@TCGS. And the website is tcgs.co with links to our Discord, our Blue Sky account, Patreon, store. It's all on there.
Ellie, how can people find you? And by people, I mean, how does the sound team behind Max Payne 1 find you?
Max
you
Payne
down?
1.
Max
What the fuck have I
Payne,
done to
Alan
Max
Wake.
Payne 1?
Oh, Alan Wake. Alan Wake. Shit. In my head, the whole time you were talking about that, I was thinking about Max Payne. I thought, I don't remember a van bit.
Yeah.
Sounds good though.
Why did that win? Why was that nominated in 2024?
Good point. It's all starting to make sense to me now.
Well, if you go to maxpainfans.com, you will find. So yeah, you could. I'm not really on X anymore because of all the Nazis.
Yeah, who is?
But, I'm on Twitch at Ellie Gibson Games, and I'm streaming this Friday at 9 o'clock, I think. Or is it Friday or Saturday? I can't remember. Anyway, it's all a bit random because of my tour. But this Saturday at 9. But I usually do a Friday or Saturday. And then if you go to scummymummies.com, you can see all our dates and tickets for our show. And men are welcome, as David will attest.
Just go to
Welcome
the
if
toilets
unusual.
before you go. Just use the toilet before you go. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been brilliant having you on again. I don't want James to come back next week.
I think it's brilliant. No, I do. But thank you for having me. I've had such a lovely time. I love coming, and I think you're brilliant. And now I've made it weird and serious and
thanks, Ellie. We'll see you next year.
Yes.
Yep, see you same time next year.
Yes. Keeley Fest 26 and BAFTA after party. I can't wait.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a lovely week. We love you all. Thanks for living it. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.